Sun's shining. It's very hot out, but not too hot.
It's definitely on the warmer end.
You were talking about it before. I know you'd rather it be a little more chilly.
Yeah, I'm a big 65-degree type of guy. We're in the 80s tonight, 82 degrees here at first pitch. Beautiful day for baseball, beautiful night for baseball. It's the 1-1 from Nowak, misses outside. Not too many clouds in the sky here. Beautiful backdrop as always here at the Rec. Second time these two teams face here at this venue. As Nowak comes home with a 2-1 pitch. That's laced in the air out to right center field. That one's down for a leadoff base hit. As Herring has reached aboard to start the night.
Yeah, got a hitter's pitch right there. He got ahead in the count early, had a very patient, took 3 straight pitches to start the game, and got the pitch he wanted there right over the plate and drove it to right center.
So it'll bring up Ripken Reese, the second baseman, also a switch hitter. So of course he will bat righty against Nowak. Nowak just finished up his season at Massachusetts Boston. Tossed 8 2/3 innings of work. His last outing, though, was on May 1st as this one's lifted in the air, and it's a no-doubter again. The Swats here at the Rec. This time it's Ripken Reese, 2-0 in the blink of an eye.
Well, that one was crushed there by Ripken Reese. He knew it right off the bat. 410 feet out to the parking lot, 104 off the bat miles per hour. He knew it, and he just put his head down and jogged around the bases.
410 feet. Wow. Ripken Reese, take a bow. Rips one over the left field fence. Well, into the parking lot.
He got the off-speed pitch right in the high in the middle of the zone. He just did not miss it. Ripken Reese turning on that one, no doubter.
His 4th home run of the season, longest one of the year for him, no doubt about that. Similar to how no doubt that was off the bat. Here's Xavier Perez in the 3 spot, and Keene has already put up 2.
How about the attack mindset as well? Early in that at bat, just walks up there and got an immediate pitch he wanted out of the lefty.
So Nowak trying to work through some trouble here as this one's shot in the air, opposite way into right field. Chasing his Gates, and he's going to get there in time for out number 1.
Get on your horse, Gates. First inning, really had to ride that one almost into the bullpen there, and the out in right field. You got to be careful, but that one just landing short of those, and yeah, was able to have enough space and make the grab.
So Nowak gets his first out and his first appearance in a Mountaineer uniform, and it brings up Ryan Jaros, also a recent addition into this Keene lineup. Takes the first offering he sees right down the heart, off speed, 76, in for a strike.
Great way to start him up with the backdoor slider. Jaros only having 1 hit with the Swamp Bats so far in the first 2 games, being a doubleheader.
A 1 pitch is grounded sharply to the left side for Alex Brazier, who's up with it, and the shortstop deals over in time for the second out. Here is the defensive alignment tonight for the Mountaineers. In the outfield from left to right, Joey Pagano is in left. Conley Daniel in center, Sam Gates in right. In the infield, Ty Acker plays the hot corner over at third. Alex Brazier just recorded that. Putati plays shortstop. Foster Apple back at second tonight. Braden Smith in his position he much prefers over at first base. Dominic Camera makes his first start behind the dish, the catcher. And Ethan Nowak on the hill making his first start. Here's Nick Romano, who has had success so far this year at the Rec as he rips the first offering he sees on a line right over to Ty Acker. A hard hit line out to end the first inning, but a 2-run shot from Ripken Reese goes 410 feet, and the Swamp Bats have a 2-0 lead early.
Well, it's time out to choose the folks that will be invited to sit in the best seats in the house courtesy of the Vermont JuL Insurance Company. Down to you, Skip.
All right, you want me to come see? Come here, go away. Can I say that to you or something? I'm going all the way, aren't I? Is he still going? Is he going to go? Oh, he's got to talk to somebody with a camera. Still going? Still going. They started to get me to leave, I think. Really? Like over 4 years? No, always out.
Why did he have to have
Bottom one from the rec. Mountaineers coming to the bat. They trail by 2 here in the bottom of the first inning. Here's the lineup tonight for Vermont. Sam Gates leads off, the lefty playing right field. Conlon Daniel in the 2 spot, he plays center. Joey Pagano, the left fielder, hitting third, moved up in the lineup tonight. Braden Smith back at first base, back in the cleanup spot, as he will be hitting before the DH. Addison Ains in the 5 spot. He's back in the lineup after a couple of games off. Ty Acker's the third baseman. He hit 6. Foster Apple, the righty, is the second baseman, hitting 7th. Alex Brazier, shortstop, hitting 8th. And the catcher, Dominic Camara, will be the bottom of the order as he makes his first start. 3 righties at the 7, 8, and 9 spot. 1 righty above that, and Conlon Daniel in the 2 spot. The rest are all lefties, 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All left-handers, and they will face Ethan Nowak, who's on the hill tonight for the Keene Swamp Bats.
Yeah, David Rodriguez, the sophomore out of St. John's University, only has had 1 start on the road so far this season. It came here in Vermont, so he's looking to maintain that success. He pitched only 3 innings in that, only allowing 1 run, but also racked up 5 Ks in those 3 innings, allowing 1 walk. So he's going to be able to minimize the base running.
That's the goal. Vermont wants to get runners on. Keene wants to limit those runners once they do get on. Something to watch tonight, of course, as always in every Mountaineer game. They lead the NECBL in stolen bags, does Vermont. With now 88 on the season. They're on track for 193. The record is 144. Need a runner on first, though, and Sam Gates will try to provide that. He's playing his collegiate season in his graduate year at Virginia Tech, his 5th year after graduating from George Washington. He's roommates with the 9, or was roommates, I should say, with the 9-hole batter tonight, Dominic Camara, in the 9 spot. They had a large reason in bringing him in, himself and Ty Acker, but Gates grounds this one over the right side, and an easy play for the man in the first inning, Ripken Reese, who had that 2-run shot. The second baseman makes the play. Here is the lineup tonight defensively for the Swamp Bats. Ryan Jaros plays left, Jack Herring's in center, Aiden Harris making his first start. He's out in right field. Nick Romano plays third, Andrew Bell at shortstop, and Reese at second, Xavier Perez over at first, TJ Schuyler behind the dish, and catching for his man and David Rodriguez.
Yeah, and here comes Daniel to the plate, went 0 for 4 last night in the victory. He also worked a walk in that and scored when he got on base, so still productive even though not putting the ball in play as much as he wants to.
Of course, we talked about it in that open. Conlon Daniel, that insane game I would label it against the Swamp Bats. He had a grand slam. He pitched. He also played center and left field while not really changing positions. He was alternating between batters. He's down 0-2 here, and he puts this one in play to the left side for Nick Romano. And he deals across in time for out number 1. Or out number 2, pardon me.
And Pagano, who also will be stepping in. Pagano has that average right around where you want it this time of year, 266. With room for improvement. He's done a great job so far. And that left-hander against David Rodriguez also looking to be productive here with 2 outs.
Pagano on 3 times last night, reaching base safely. As now dating back to the doubleheader in game 2 over the weekend. He's been on base 6 times in his last 8 appearances.
Yeah, it was also reached a couple times last night as well. Was able to score those 2 times in his 1 for 4 effort.
It's down 0-2 as it's Rodriguez working quickly. 8 strikes, 4 balls in play, and 1 ball. Only missed the zone once. As Pagano puts one in play out to right center field, it pushes Herring back to the track at the wall, and he's got room. A well-hit ball off the bat of Joey Pagano. It goes 373 feet, and it's what we were talking about earlier. That leaves at Alumni Field, but it doesn't leave here at the rec. We'll go to the top of the second, 2-0 to score. Keene leads after a 1-2-3 inning. In game 1, but he's aboard now with a leadoff hit in the second. As the first pitch to Aiden Harris, the right fielder in the 7 spot by way of Virginia. He takes, it's 1-0.
The power is key here. The youngster, he's still going into his only sophomore year, but that power is no lie. He, coming out of high school, is the 15th best high school player in the country. He was the #1 third baseman in the country going into college. So he's definitely someone to look for here in the NECBL to make a difference.
And just watching him in BP today, you could see it. He was getting balls close to that center field fence in dead center at 420 feet with a wood bat. That's impressive. As he takes a strike at 83 on the inner third from Noack.
And two guys that both teams don't have a lot of information on, not really having a lot of college experience, and also haven't made an NECBL play this year.
And his second inning of work is Noack as he looks over at first at the runner in Manolfi, who stays. And this one's opposite way in the right. Back-to-back base hits, a high hop. Gates able to field it cleanly, and he holds Manolfi at second. Back-to-back base hits, first and second to start for the Swamp Bats in the second.
Well, another pitch right over the middle of the plate from Noack. These right-handed hitters are just taking complete advantage that time. Harris was able to wait back on that one and drive it the opposite way.
No movement in the pen for either side, just a couple of guys stretching out there as the 8-hole batter and the catcher, TJ Schuyler, to the plate. So after Manolfi, the lone lefty, it's back to all the right-handed hitters. Harris reaches aboard. Now here's Schuyler, the catcher. Noack steps off. First hit for Aiden Harris as a Keene Swamp Bat in his first appearance. He's 1 for 1 on the year.
Schuyler hit a grand slam back on Saturday where the Swamp Bats put up 12 runs. That was big offensive production coming out of him.
The pitch to him. Off-speed looper misses up high. It's a ball and no strikes.
Both teams having a very roller coaster type of week and a half. Both teams, with Swamp Bats going 5-5, the Mountaineers going 4-6, and this has been a different look for the Swamp Bats. They're not used to losing this many games after the start they got off to.
As this one's ripped into right center field, it chases Daniel and Gates to the track, and that one's off the top of the wall. One run is home, and Manolfi hitting third is Harris. He's going to stop there, and it's an RBI double for TJ Schuyler to make it 3-0.
90 off the bat, a pitch once again right over the heart of the plate in the middle of the zone. He also squaring up that fastball. It's only 84 coming out of the left-hander's hand. They've just been jumping all over that fastball so far here, Rocco.
3 straight hits to start in the second. It's a 3-0 lead for Keene. Keene trailed both times to start in games 1 and 2 against the Mountaineers. This time they have the lead early. Andrew Bell, bottom of the lineup, 9-hole batter in the shortstop. He takes off-speed lower third, in for a strike, 0-1.
Yeah, when you're getting hit around, you're just going to have to keep attacking. No point of slowing up your momentum. Have to attack that zone. Like I said, a lot of hittable pitches so far, though. He's just going to have to make more pitches on the corners.
His 0-1 is a beautiful one. Off speed, gets Bell looking in there for a strike, and it's 0-2.
There it is right there. That backdoor breaking ball is going to be key for him to get ahead of these right-handed hitters.
TJ Schuyler at second after the double to score Manolfi. Harris over at third. Ethan Noack on the hill on his pitch. Is a high chopper to the left side that will score a run. Fielding it is Acker, and he puts a throw on over to first that gets by the first baseman in Smith. Hitting third and stopping there is Schuyler. Advancing over to second is Bell. Still nobody out, and the run scores. It's 4-0.
Yeah, didn't have to rush too much on that play. Just still spiked it and didn't get too far away from Smith at first base, but a great heads-up base running over at second by Schuyler, able to advance easily on that, and then Bell following him going to second.
So it keeps on continuing now for the Swamp Bats in the second inning. As there's still nobody retired, it's the second time through the order for Jack Herring, the center fielder. Started the game with a leadoff base hit, scored on the 2-run shot for Reese, who's now on deck.
Already looks like some movement going over there in the Mountaineers bullpen. Looks like Jarek Hobb warming up in the pen, another lefty.
Hobb, another new addition to this Mountaineers pitching staff, just arriving into town this week. 6 hits for Keene in the first 2 innings. Still not done here. 2 runners aboard. Schuyler at third, Bell at second. And the pitch, 1-0 misses outside, 2 balls, no strikes. for Andrew Bell that has ruled a single to third base, and then the error by Ty Acker allows him to advance over to second. He stands in scoring.
Smoked his last base hit. Still looking for the same pitch here ahead of the count.
And he rips this one as well. Out to left field. Back goes Pagano, and he makes the grab on the hard line out, but that will be a sac fly as it scores Skyler from third.
5 hitters like this is definitely not really up to par what you want to, waiting that long, just a few months now.
Of course, probably not similar to seeing guys like Ripken Reese, who launched a 2-run shot, 410 feet his first time up. Off speed, way outside on the first pitch to Ripken Reese.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of that slider. Not a lot of changeups to right-handed hitters as much as there are in the Swamp Bats lineup. It throws that slider a lot, but obviously throws that fastball more than the other two.
Ripken Reese, RBIs 9 and 10, homer number 4 of the year on that shot in the first inning. He fouls this pitch back into the netting, and it's a ball and a strike.
Another fastball, belt high, coming out of these pitchers' hands. They're going to have to at least get them around the knees and get them around the corners.
That one in at 88. This gets the sign from camera behind home plate. Jared Cobb in his first appearance as a Mountaineer. 1-1 pitch. A miss, check swing. Did not go. Count moves 2-1, and you look back to last night as well for Vermont. The first 3 arms that pitched in that game were all new additions to the pitching staff throughout the course of the last week or so, all of them making their first inning of work and first appearance as a Mountaineer. Came through, though, held Upper Valley to just 2 runs. Here's the pitch. Opposite way, right field. Gates, he's looking up, and that one is gone. It continues for Keene here at the Rec. Ripken Reese, his second homer of the night. He's red hot. It's 7-0.
That time got a fastball on the outside corner of the plate, just off of it, and waited back, delivered a line drive, 98 miles per hour, right over the fence. That one looked like it was going to at least be caught right off the bat, and then ended up being like, okay, the back was turned. Gates was not turning back to that ball. It was going to be off of it? No, just cleared it. And a great, another at-bat by Ripken Reese. 2 home runs in this ball game for RBIs.
It's now the 6th home run of the season for Keene against Vermont. And Ripken Reese has his 5th homer, and it's 7-0. Still only 1 out in the top of the second. Here's Xavier Perez. 5 runs now in the inning. 5 of the first 6 reach.
Crazy right now what's going on. These Swamp Bats hitters are ready to play after losing 2 straight games where they weren't putting up many runs. Now it's time to swing it.
This one's hard hit. Out to left field. Did he get enough? Yes, he did. The 3rd homer tonight. Back-to-back for Reese and Perez. It's 8-0.
Unbelievable. This time got the changeup out of the hands. This one was inside. Xavier Perez turning on it, getting the barrel out ahead of himself, and was able to fire that one over left center.
What is going on? Are the balls juiced?
The balls might be juiced today. 361, that one landed. Batters are having a great day today.
Ryan Jaros, the cleanup hitter. Back-to-back for Reese and Perez. 3 homers in the first 2 innings. 8-run lead for Keene.
And you think they know we're in the booth or something? Second straight time, Rocco. What's going on?
Home runs galore. That's now the 7th home run for Keene against Vermont this season.
Unbelievable.
Wow. So Ryan Jaros, who's 0 for 1, still just 1 out, 6 runs in this inning. Off speed, inside, 3-0.
Yeah, I'm surprised when he's behind the count using that slider. He hits the zone 40% of the time with that slider, so might go back to the fastball here in a 3-0 count.
He does, and it misses. 4-pitch walk to Jaros. As Jaros is aboard over at first here in the top of the second.
You know, letting it get to him here. Back-to-back homers on back-to-back pitches. Definitely, when that happens to you, and those pitches weren't even hanging out over the plate like we saw previously in the game. Now those were on the corners, sending it over the wall. You just don't know where to hit your spots anymore as a pitcher. 4 straight balls.
Get you thinking for sure as he deals that one low out of the zone to his Hobb, and Nick Romano goes foul down the first base side. 0-1, 1 out. Jaro's over at first after the walk.
The 9th batter sent to the plate for the Swamp Bats here. That's a bat around completely, still with only 1 away.
Takes. That's it. Missing a ball off the plate. Romano, he's 0 for 1. He would be the last guy, if he's able to reach that, would make it 9, all 9 for Keene aboard safely.
Oh, Sean McKenna on that foul ball. You see him try to play that one. He didn't move his feet at all toward it. It was to his left, but just put his hand out and acted like he made a play on it, and he really didn't. And that's Sean McKenna right there in a nutshell. Also recently just tallied his 100th career win as a Swamp Bats coach.
Century mark.
Yeah, hitting the century mark is definitely impressive. And I talked to him the day after that. He said, I didn't even know it until I got home. And his mom reached out to him and was like, hey, look what you just did. And he was like, oh, cool. That just shows how into his team he is. He's not focused on himself. A lot of the outside noise, a lot of media. He loves his interviews, but he doesn't focus on the media. He just wants to, get the wins for the team.
I'll tell you one thing, though. He definitely knows his team can hit home runs, as there's been 3 hit now. 2 for Ripken Reese. Perez just went back-to-back with him. Keene now leads the NECBL in homers as a team with 22. They're on top of Martha's Vineyard, who now has 20 entering tonight. As the count goes full here from Hobb to Romano.
Yeah, another 3-ball count. Second straight 1 from the lefty here. See if he goes back to that fastball. Looks like he might go up on the outside corner.
Swing and a miss. First strikeout of the night for the Swamp Bats offense and for the Mountaineers pitching staff. They do bat around here in the second, as it's the man who led off the inning with a single, Ty Manolfi, to the plate.
Yeah, went back to that fastball. Great job dotting the outside corner. That one around knee level as well. Able to put out the first strikeout for the Mountaineers.
8 runs, 8 hits, 2 gone now in the inning. As Manolfi flashes bunt, he pulled it back.
Manolfi was able to get himself ahead in the count last time up as well against the left-hander. Just drove one up the middle to start this whole inning up.
Faces a new arm, though, of course. As to start the inning, it was Ethan Nowak. As he allows 6 earned runs in the start, records 4 outs. Jared Hobb in relief for him. He's down 2-0, and Hobb's pitch is in there for a strike. It's 2-1.
Not exactly the pitch you're looking for here. 2-0. That one was well thrown. This time, another 2-1 count, second straight time for him in this game. Same inning.
See what he goes with here. 2-1 pitch. The off speed is in the air to center field. Conlon Daniels going to get there, and that will do it. Day off. And then, of course, Upper Valley. Last night, he got the night off.
These two teams becoming familiar with each other very quick so far after a month's play.
Keene up 8-0. They won game 2 against Vermont. 17-11. And for those that like to go with the on pace and on track numbers, they are on track to score over 17 runs tonight. Ainsworth takes that one in there for a called strike. It's 1-2.
Rodriguez ahead in the count. Tends to stay ahead in the count. Doesn't usually try to miss when he's just ahead 1-2.
Pitch to Ainsworth. Rodriguez tries to get a chase low. 89 in the dirt. Good stop behind home plate by Skyler.
And we see Skyler do a lot of blocking behind the plate. He also supports that great arm he has as a kicker. Limits the base runners, and you know the Mountaineers love to steal.
Pitch. In there for a called third strike. Fooled him with the breaker on the inner half. Ainsworth down by way of the K for out number 1.
Yeah, so far dominating on the mound in the first inning and a third, but some bullpen action as James Lordi for the Swamp Bats getting ready to come into this one.
Here's Ty Acker, recently committing to Seton Hall University, he announced last night on social media. As he swings away and misses at the first offering. Acker, originally from George Washington, entered the portal. Started the season really hot, got some interest from a lot of schools, ended up going with Seton Hall. 0-1. He takes, that one's in the dirt. Skyler hustles over to it, holds Braden Smith over at first, who wasn't looking to be aggressive there.
I'm surprised on that. You know, you see the base runners, and you obviously got to talk now from the first base coach after that one, because that one did trick away quite a few, and we know how much they love to run, especially even before the ball gets away, and that time it did. Smith not taking advantage.
Smith joked with us pregame on an interview, it's on our social media pages, that he's not really a great runner, but coming out here collegiately, he's gotten a lot better working with Cody Dennis as Ty Acker goes opposite way and puts one in the left field for a base hit. Moves Smith over to second. 2 runners on, 1 out in the inning for Foster Apple.
Are you ready for this, Rocco? Another one of these games? We had a 7.
You got to be, right?
The 7-run lead from the Swamp Bats last time these two played. It was 11-4 in one where the Swamp Bats let it slip this time with the 8-run lead, and we're still very early in this game. It's hot out, and the ball's flying in the July air.
It is, that's for sure. Of course, Keene with 3 homers in the first 2 innings. See if Vermont could try to respond with one of their own. Foster Apple does have a homer this year. That was in the game against Sanford at Goodall Park, went over the right field fence. Apple takes, and the Stetson product is ahead at 1-0. Apple enters hitting .222 on the season. That aforementioned home run, 2 RBIs, 1-0 pitch. In there for a strike. He gets the start tonight over at second. He's been struggling a little bit defensively, but he's been having much more competitive plate appearances offensively at the dish. Acker at first, Smith at second, and the 1-1 pitch. Laced in the air, out to left, that one's down. Getting the way from Cam Hartstein is Braden Smith. He's going to score. Vermont's on the board with the 1-out RBI single from Foster Apple.
Yeah, got the off speed down at shin level. He just turned on that one. Didn't want to wait for it and ended up driving nicely at 85 miles per hour into the left field. And no chance for Jaros over and left to make that play at home. And here comes Stephen Banks, the pitching coach for the Swamp Bats now. Have a conversation with him. I mean, the talk here has got to be Rocco. I mean, they have a 7-run lead. You got to just attack the strike zone. Know who you are, be within yourself, and get these hitters out. Obviously, we saw that happen previous for the Swamp Bats and led up to a grand slam, but this time still early, bottom of the second inning, but we already have 9 runs on the scoreboard.
Of course, Rodriguez, we talked about it earlier, did against Vermont before back in game 1, and he punched out 5 in 3 innings of work. Tonight, he's got 1 through these first 2 innings. He got Addison Ainsworth looking, but 3 of the first 4 reach for Vermont in the second. Got a lot of work to do, though. They do have 2 on with 1 out, and it'll be Alex Brazier, the shortstop.
Foster Apple in that previous at-bat, before going up, he was batting .286 with runners in scoring position with only 1 RBI, and that time able to capitalize again.
So here's Alex Brazier, had his first hit in a Vermont uniform over the weekend. He's been getting on base a lot, taking a lot of walks. That's what Vermont needs right now. They need more base runners. They trail by 7 in the second inning as Rodriguez steps off.
Well, Brazier in 6 at-bats with runners in scoring position has yet to come through. Still has an RBI, I guess, with less than 2 outs with a runner at third, but those 6 at-bats yet to get a hit with runners in scoring position.
Joining the team late, not quite as late as some of the arms that have been going throughout the last couple of games, but he takes that first pitch in for a strike. 0-1, Brazier by way of University of South Florida, USF. Enters 1 for 11. The pitch, swing and a miss. Rodriguez goes 89 on the outer portion of the zone and is ahead at 0-2.
And Brazier also pinch hit last night. Was unable to get on, but it had a at-bat. Didn't have too much of a break from seeing live pitching. Opposed to the Swamp Bats, they had 2 days off since their last outing.
As that's the second strikeout of the night for Rodriguez as he gets Brazier swinging. 2 gone in the second.
You know, before this game, I was thinking to myself, you know, 2 days off after coming off getting swept from one of the lower teams in the NECBL. Stewing on that can't be easy, and especially with the rain out last night, you get another day of not being able to bounce back from it. But they're doing a great job so far here with a 7-run lead.
Keene falling, of course, to North Shore on the road in a doubleheader. As with 2 outs, Dominic Camara gets his first appearance at the dish and swings at the first pitch he sees. It's hard hit out to center field, 358 to dead center. You know what, I could look, of course, 6 straight losses isn't great, but still in second place.
Yeah, and they haven't fallen too many games behind the Swamp Bats because they've been drifting off themselves.
That's a punch out there for Jared Cobb, his second of the night as he fanned Romano earlier.
Yeah, and there's the fastball at the top of the zone. Harris just well behind on that one. Probably looking off speed, but behind the count. Got to sit on that fastball.
Got him at 88, and it brings up TJ Schuyler, who was a part of the first 4 hitters that reached in the second. He doubled and came around to score.
Yeah, that ball was smoked out to the outfield. Also driving in a run in that at bat as well. Drove in the first run of the second inning.
First time the leadoff hitter's been retired tonight for the Mountaineers against the Swamp Bats offense. So with 1 out in the inning, Schuyler bats. 8 runs, 3 homers, 2 from Ripken Reese, 1 from Xavier Perez as they went back-to-back. To a pitch, misses high.
You know, it's so nice to see as many smiles as we do in the crowd today. You know, the alumni field for the Swamp Bats had a free admission day recently as well. Got up to over 3,200 fans in attendance, and this one looks like it's had a great crowd as well.
4-pitch, 1-out walk to TJ Schuyler. He's been aboard twice. And Andrew Bell, the shortstop, who singled in the second and then advanced over to second on the throwing error from Ty Acker. He will hit.
So was that one ruled a hit?
It was ruled a hit, so he reached on the single, and then the throwing error allowed him to get the second.
Yeah, I ruled that an error. I thought
let me check in case it changed.
With the right throw, I think that would have got him. I don't know. Yeah, it's an inning behind us.
Yeah. An inning that I'm sure Vermont wants to forget. Keene, they probably don't care if it's a hit or an error with the way that inning went.
Listen, they got to keep going here, though. I'll tell you, Rocco. With the way the last time the 7-run lead went out the window for them, another 7-run lead early on in this one, they have to add on to it.
This one's ripped back up the middle. A diving effort from Foster Apple kicks the ball over towards the stopping Brazier, but there's going to be no play as Brazier was charging at it, so a hard hit line drive up the middle at 101 off the bat. That's an infield single for Bell.
Yeah, that one's a hit. That's a no-brainer right there. I mean, obviously a great effort by Apple over at second base, diving to his left, trying to get in front of that one somehow off the bat at 101 miles per hour. And he did. Got a glove on it. I'm sure he also saved Schuyler from going first to third.
Schuyler at second. Bell now at first. Lineup turns over. Third time through, Jack Herring. Herring 1 for 2. Line out in the single. First batter of the game. He reached the board, did Herring. He's coming off, of course, that 3-double afternoon against Sanford on Saturday.
Yeah, that game against the Mainers, we saw a lot of breakout performances by the Swamp Bats. And of course, like I mentioned, Schuyler with the grand slam in that one.
Schuyler stands over at second after the 1-out walk and the single from Bell on the infield. Keene is sitting comfortably here in Game 3 of the season series. They're chasing a record that's held by Vermont, 32 regular season wins, the most in the NECBL. That was Vermont in 2022. Keene with 16 right now. They sit at 16-6, so of course they're going to need 17 more wins. Now how many games they have to get them kind of remains to be determined. 22 scheduled. You never know, though, with rainouts and postponements.
another rain out last night. It's a lot of looks of familiarity from the Swamp Bats like last year. They started off very, very hot, but at some point in the middle of the season when you start to lose and gain players, the chemistry might get a little mixed up, but also you just have to continue to ride on momentum when it's hot.
0-2 just misses to Jack Herring, close to his strikeout is Jared Cobb.
And it's so tough when you're a team that's on such a hot streak and some pitchers get shut down by their college coaches or newly commits, you know, finding where they want to be and say, okay, then the CBL, that's enough for me here in July. Teams just have to keep on riding.
Got to find guys wherever you can, as this one's back up the middle as Jack Herring comes through with what's going to be an RBI single to score TJ Schuyler over to third. Goes Bell to throw to second, gets away, backing it up is Brazier. Second and third, one out, another run comes home. It's 9-1.
Yeah, heads up base running by Herring right there. I mean, he got the off speed on the bottom of the around knee level and drove it to the outfield, but actually after rounding first, did a great job of catching up to Bell, seeing that the throw was going to third, and immediately took the extra base. And especially with one away, you're staying out of that double play.
All that important. And of course, Ripken Reese, he's not thinking about any ball on the ground. The infield coming in. He's got 2 homers tonight. 410-foot blast. This one's in the air to center. It's going to chase Conlon Daniel back. He's turned around, reaching up, and that one's going to get down. It rolls all the way to the wall. One is home to score, and Schuyler Bell's going to come around. They're all going to score a bases clearing triple with one out. It's 11-1.
I mean, this guy's hitting the ball over the yard. Another fastball down the middle of the plate. That one just could not split it any better and ran all over it. I mean, getting that 76-mile-per-hour off-speed pitch, actually, he just waited back on it. He's driving the ball very well, and this time able to drive it 373 feet to dead center, and that's a tough play for Daniel.
2 homers and a triple for Ripken Reese.
Yeah, that's 11 tallied bases.
Yep.
In the first 3 innings of play.
That's hashtag pretty good. Xavier Perez, who went back-to-back with him.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, I know my other broadcaster, Andrew Hilsman for the Swamp Bats, definitely would love to see you here. And it's early, but he got the hardest parts of the cycle out of the way. Double and a single gets it done. And we're only in third.
You would be correct. Swinging away at that one is Perez. Fouls it back into the protective netting. 10-run lead. Well, you know, Keene, there was a little bit of doubt with the 2 sets of back-to-back losses. Of course, the doubleheader sweep from North Shore coming into today. Maybe this will be the start of a little bit of a skid. Well, guess what? That's not the case. 11 runs in the first 3 innings.
You know, speaking of Andrew Hilsman also with, you know, tallying 11 bases in 3 plate appearances. I know Andrew Hilsman loves to be the show. Imagine playing moments on the show and get it in the tally bases challenge that you get.
You need 11.
11 bases in 3 at-bats. Are you kidding me?
That one bounces. Good stop behind home plate from camera. Still a runner at third and just 1 out.
I know Andrew loved that one. Remember the show reference.
Perez came through with his 4th homer of the year. It's 9 RBI. He's at the dish now in a 1-2 count against Jared Cobb in the pitch. Ground ball foul. Sean McKenna just swifts it over towards the bullpen for Keene.
I like the footwork was right on that one.
Yeah.
You know, he shuffled to his right, but wanted no part of the ball. Acted like he fielded it and was ready for a throw.
So we'll do the 1-2 again. Infield in. Hops pitch. Stopped again by camera. 2-2.
Great job getting in front of that by camera. I know there's still plenty of opportunity for the Swamp Bats to get that runner in with less than 2 outs at third, but you know, when you stop that pitch from going away, especially with the 2-strike count, you enable this strikeout to go by and the opportunities dwindle.
Hobb comes set in his 2-2 pitch. Is outside and high once again. Camera tested on that one.
Another 3-ball count for camera. We saw a 3-ball count from Hobb. We saw that a lot in the previous inning, especially after the back-to-back jacks. But this time, see if he goes back to that fastball. We saw him go back to the 3-ball counts.
payoff is fouled back into the netting. A battle going on here between Hobb and Perez. As we'll see the 9th pitch of the AB next.
He went to the slider there as well. Interesting to see. I'll try to backdoor him. Looks like he might have nipped the outside corner, but Perez thinking that was too close to take.
Perez digs back in. He's ready. Same with Hobb. And the payoff pitch. Outside, ball 4. Perez earns first base this time with a walk. Runners on the corners, 1 gone for Jaros.
Let's see if Jaros has another patient at bat. Worked a 4-pitch walk his last time, and also in the double headers, he worked a couple walks as well in his first appearance with the Swamp Bats. Of course, telling that one and only hit he had, but also in Game 1 in his appearance, he was in the bottom of the lineup, but in his first 2 plate appearances, worked a very patient couple of plate appearances.
So here is Jaros, runners on the corners. He digs in. First pitch he sees is in there for a strike on the inside corner at 87.
Yeah, that's where you're going to want to keep it, especially with that fastball having sinking action right around the knees. Try to work a double play.
Gets a foul tip back. The backstop on that one. He's ahead 0-2. Jaros making his 3rd appearance as a Keene Swamp Bat this season for Jarek Hobb, his first appearance. So both guys getting in action a little bit in the NCAA season. Slight infield shift over to 3rd. Hobb 1 strike away from getting out of the inning. And his 0-2 pitch with 1 out is low and away. Off speed, forces camera over to his right. Does stop it backhand and will do a 1-2 pitch.
Jaros looking for his first Swamp Bats RBI this season as well. Now's the opportunity here with Reese still on 3rd base with less than 2 outs.
Reese, of course, reaching with that bases clearing 2 RBI triple. 2 homers, a triple for Ripken Reese. Switch hitting second baseman.
It's crazy.
Over at 3rd base, he's waiting this offering, trying to come home with 1 out.
No, watching BP with Ripken Reese up, he was hitting from both sides.
Jaros puts this one in play. That's going to score Ripken Reese unless they can turn 2, and Vermont does. They end the double play, and they keep it to a 10-run game.
Still in protect mode.
He protects against that one and fouls it back.
I think the netting, it would be okay if it got cut off right there. If that ball came right back at us, I think we have the sleight of hand to be able to make the catch. I don't know about you, Rocco.
Yeah, there's a shot. I wish I could be tested out here. You know, I would have brought a glove if there was no net. But
you need a glove?
There's probably, yeah, I don't need one. But
yeah,
you never know. That one's in there for strike 3 on the outer half of the plate. The off-speed full Sam Gates for out number 1 in the 3rd.
I think Gates not happy with that call. Back-to-back pitches that were just on the borderline on the outside corner of the plate, but home plate umpire Jeffrey Keene saying they caught the corner.
So Rodriguez, who struck out 5 his first time against the Mountaineers in Game 1, has now fanned 3 batters in 2 1/3 innings of work. He pitched 3 innings in that outing. He's pitched 3 innings in all 3 of his outings this year. Of course, one of them against Vermont, the 2 others not. He faces Conlon Daniel. Grounded out his last time up as Daniel puts one in the air out the center field, and that one's down. Fielding it on 1 hop is Herring, and a 1-out base hit for Conlon Daniel.
You know, something we've seen from the Mountaineers is they're on attack mode. They're not getting really too into the pitch count. As we saw Lordeye, who was warming up in the previous inning, sat down, but they're not getting it high into David Rodriguez's pitch count. They're attacking. Besides the 2 full counts they've had, they're on attack mode, able to take advantage early on in their at-bat and drive the ball and play.
And you would think that, you know, probably being down 10 runs, you got to be thinking attack, attack, attack. If I had to guess.
But sometimes that could work against you, though.
Right.
When you're not patient at the plate,
for sure,
you're not ramping up that pitch count and getting into that bullpen.
Definitely. See what the leash is for David Rodriguez. Still not a lot of movement over there. The bullpen in left field as Conlon Daniel slides back in head first. Conlon Daniel, always a threat to move, so something to watch for the Cincinnati products. Over at first, he's off on the pitch as Pagano goes opposite way, foul territory. Over is the 3rd baseman, And Romano tries to make the basket grab, not able to do so.
No, Nick Romano's in the left field corner.
Yeah.
The foul pole after running after that one. We had to see Keene Vorster in the bullpen, who looked like he was rolling his back out, had to evacuate very quickly, and Nick Romano has to take that walk of shame from the left field corner back to third base position.
He had the TrackMan data on how long he ran. He gave that a good effort. So a rightfully deserved slower walk over to catch his breath as he faces, or pardon me, his pitcher on the mound, and Rodriguez faces Joey Pagano. 0-2 count now to the St. Joe's product with Conlon Daniel at first, and the pitch from Rodriguez is flown back out of play. We'll do it again.
So we see that he's behind on that fastball so far. Two foul offs that, or 3 foul offs that were to the left side. So we'll see if he sticks to that, tries to jam him with this next one.
Pagano with hits in 4 of his last 5 games. Got his batting average up to 275. Moved up in the lineup tonight to the 3. As once again, he's able to stay alive, fouling that one back.
Interesting to see Rodriguez still stick to that outside corner. I don't know if it says to attack him there, but after these foul balls are heading to the left side, I'm trying to go right at his fist. Obviously still ahead in the count 0-2. I would run him up inside.
See what he goes to here. He's got 3 punch outs before he's going to look over at Daniel and check on the runner. He slides back in safely. Daniel with 9 stolen bags. His next one will put him in the double digits. He's hopping and vaulting, and he's off, and the pitch misses. Daniel off, throw down from Skyler skips. Daniel's taken off for third. He's going to get there. As Herring makes the smart decision not to force the throw, Daniel goes first to third. Steals second, advances on the throwing error, and he's 90 feet away with 1 out.
Great heads-up base running. I mean, Daniel could do it all. We've seen him pitch before. We've seen him base run before, field very well, and hit homers, but that time was able to pop up very quickly once he heard that ball got away and was able to take third with ease.
Skyler made a good throw.
Yeah, going back to my statement against Joey Pagano, he does hit the ball away very well throughout this season.
He takes again, gets the count even 2-2 as the situation changes a little bit. Of course, 10-run game, so infield's not going to play all the way in here for Keene. As the corners play in the infield dirt, middle plays back towards the outfield grass. Rodriguez set at the belt. A deep breath in the 2-2. Pagano in the air to center field. Should be deep enough. Herring under it. Daniel tagging. He's going to score. It's 11-2 on the sac fly from Joey Pagano. Conlon Daniel scores.
Yeah, so Rodriguez able to get his fastball up to 90 miles per hour and put it again on the outside corner of the plate where the book on Pagano is he hits it well and was able to drive in a run. And Jack Herring, once he fielded that ball, didn't rush it into the infield, just threw it in to the cutoff, and easy run scored for the Mountaineers.
Smith, the first baseman in the left-handed batter's box. Base is empty, 2 gone. Second run comes across against David Rodriguez, who gets the start his 2nd time against the Mountaineers. So the 2nd time he faces some of these hitters. One of them, of course, was Joey Pagano and Conlon Daniel. As the pitch misses 2-0. Smith a walk, came around to score after leading off the 2nd, reaching aboard safely. Pitch in there for a called strike at 89. Smith now with 12 walks in the season, 2nd on the team right behind Jalen Hernandez, who's not in the lineup tonight. Hernandez, the NECBL hitter of the week, but gets tonight off after playing pretty much every game throughout the last couple of weeks. He's also been battling some shoulder and lower body issues, more just wear and tear on the lower body. Swing and a miss there from Smith, and the count full.
Good pitch right there. Tried to challenge him with the fastball, threw it right over the plate, and Smith was unable to catch up to it.
Payoff with 2 outs. It clips Braden Smith. It's ball 4 either way, even if it didn't hit him. So he's aboard with a 2-out hit pitch.
Smith just let that one go right in on him. He didn't move out. Even with 3 balls, you would think he would try to get out of the way out of that one immediately, but still let it hit him. Either way, it's a free pass to first base.
It's talking about earlier when he was aboard at first, that he's significantly improved on the base paths this summer, working with Cody Dennis. Check out that interview on our social media page. Pitch to Addison Ainsworth. It's going to go towards the dugout. And the Cars over on the left side, and judging by the crowd's reaction, that might have nicked one over there.
Oh yeah, that definitely caught a car. Surprised to see Nick Romano not try to chase after that ball down the left field line though. Keene Vorster's up in the bullpen now for the Swamp Bats. Some movement as David Rodriguez is getting worked well in this inning.
Talked about the pitch count, how it was relatively low. When we were talking about that, he was at, I believe, 42 pitches. Since then, he's thrown 13 more.
Yeah, good for the Mountaineers. When you're trailing like this, get the starting pitcher out of the game. Work into that bullpen. See some different arms, and before you know it, you can be right back into the ballgame.
His 57th pitch is flown opposite way foul by Addison Ainsworth, who struck out looking his first time up. The DH tonight is Ainsworth.
Keep on fighting.
Keep on scratching. Sounded very similar. Keene up 11-2. Top of the third as Ainsworth swings away and misses at that offering from David Rodriguez, who gets through 3 innings and gets his 4th punch out there of Addison Ainsworth. Innings gone. Back out there trying to give Vermont's bullpen some much needed innings of work, trying to save some arms now in a game that's 9 runs in favor of Keene.
Goes back to the breaking ball, misses just a bit outside for ball 2. Hobbs still out there after over an inning of work now. Got himself into some trouble back in the 2nd inning when he was newly entered into the ball game. Led up back-to-back homers on back-to-back pitches, but trying to settle down still as that one misses high for ball 3. 3 straight balls to start the inning. Be interesting to see if Romano has the green light here with the team in such a big lead. Also, Romano hit the ball very hard back in the 1st. As that one's taken outside for ball 4. 4-pitch walk to start the top of the 4th.
Yeah, and for Keene, impressive to just continuing to take pitches. They've worked their fair share of walks here, specifically against Hobb. That's the 4th that he has issued free pass-wise.
Now Manolfi stepping in. He's 1 for 2 in this one. Flew out to center his last time up, but hit a single to start off that very eventful 2nd inning. And look at the former Dayton ball player, committed to Boston College, looking to make an impact over there. Now I got to ask Ty Manolfi if that makes a difference when you commit to a school, especially a big school like Boston College in the middle of the NECBL season. Does that take the pressure off? Because he's heated up very much since the commitment. He said, oh yeah, it definitely takes the pressure off, especially when it's such an easy decision like Boston College. When they had the interest in him after his visit, he knew that was the place to go. As he grounds that one towards the hole, that's going to get through for a base hit. Romano will stop over at 2nd base, so 2 on to start the top of the 4th after that base knock.
Hits just keep on.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we got to keep an eye on now if Keene could break what was their season high with 25 Vermont game 2. That's hit number 12. They're almost halfway home.
Wow, we're only in the 4th. We might have that.
On pace.
Yeah.
On pace.
We've seen Keene with an 11 runs scored early against the Vermont Mountaineers back at Alumni Field, but that 11-4 lead was quickly squandered late in that game as that breaking ball is on the outside corner to the 1st pitch of Harris. Harris is 1 for 2 on the day. He singled first time up, but struck out back in the 3rd inning. 11-2 Swamp Bats here in the top of the 4th as that one misses low for ball 1. Harris,
he's looked good his first start here.
Newly entered onto the Swamp Bats roster.
UVA batting helmet, you see it there.
Oh yeah, yeah. Lots of bad blood with UVA and Duke and the schools in that general area. I got to speak with the bullpen arm and Marcello Mastroianni. He said, oh, a guy from UVA is coming in. Oh no, Marcello Mastroianni is a Duke Blue Devils bullpen arm. Some more. Ben Dean recently committed to Duke, and when you have players come from your rival schools, it's definitely interesting to see how they get together when these teams form during the summer, and you got these rival schools that you want to bash heads with in the spring.
Yeah, definitely. I love the dynamic that summer ball creates, especially here in the NECBL. There's always relationships and teams crossing.
Yeah, I mean, especially after the season's over, summer season's over, you go back and you go to your college and you're like, all right, I can't like that guy anymore, you know? And Marcello did a great job of saying, like, listen, he's going to be my rival no matter what, even if he's on my team. We're gonna be friends this summer, but after that, and that one is off the outside corner once again. That'll run the count full.
I love that. He's just saying, all right, I'll be friends with you for 2 months, exactly. 44 games, around 60 days, and then that contract expires.
Yeah, the contract goes up at some point, and once again, you're a college ball player. As this one is swung on and missed for strike 3. Hobb gets the first out on the board with a K.
Hobb getting a lot of strikeouts. He did shoot some walks, but that's his 3rd punch out after entering in that 2nd inning.
Also 2 of them coming from Harris as well. He started off the 3rd inning punching out Harris on a swing, and that one no different. 1 out, 2 runners on here for the Swamp Bats as Skyler steps in and fouls that one away. 0-1. Skyler hit an RBI double back in the 2nd inning. He's able to score the 3rd run of the ball game. That 1st run of that very eventful inning. 6 runs were put up in the top of the 2nd for the Swamp Bats. The 0-1 fouled back. That bangs off the structure in front of us.
A beam hit. I love it.
Nothing like a beam hit. With all that netting, it's cool to hear a sound.
All right.
On a foul ball.
Precision.
You know?
We're still waiting for one to hit like off that power pole.
Oh, yeah?
Around the netting where the netting ends, basically. It's yet to happen.
Okay, like the metal?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Power outage. 0-2. Popped into the air in foul territory. That one's drifting and will head out of play. And Skyler stays alive. You know, it's interesting to see how many cars willingly park along the left field line. We already saw a ball bounce off. I don't know how many do you see foul balls bounce off cars?
Well, it's definitely been a hot topic among every broadcast that's come here, and I would say I agree with everyone. I mean, yeah, it's just a bold decision.
The 0-2 is taken inside for the first ball.
I mean, listen, I get it. If you want to visit the Keene Swamp Bats bullpen, I'm all for it. You just got to know what the risk that comes with that. And, yeah, we've seen it tonight. We've seen it a couple times throughout the course of the year.
You know, it's the type of spot where you park your car and you can watch the game from your car.
You can. You can. The game might come to you. The
1-2 off the outside corner, and that'll even the count at 2. Goes back to the fastball, but missed off and outside. Skyler was able to work a walk his last time up, scored both times in his trips to the plate. The 2-2. Breaking ball misses, and that'll run the count full.
Still incredibly patient. I mean, really every hitter for Keene has been, even in a 9-run game, still to get deeper in counts, work the pitch counts up, get guys on via free passes. They've been successful against Hobb.
The 3-2, fouled away. So a great at-bat here being put up by TJ Skyler with still not much movement over in the Mountaineers bullpen. I see some bullpen catchers might be getting their gear on. Someone might be getting ready to throw soon. Still only here in the 4th. Only through 1 bullpen arm. Starters out of the game for the Mountaineers. 11-2 Swamp Bats. The 3-2. Struck him out. The fastball on the inside corner for the 2nd one out of the inning.
Well, Jared Hobb is just continuing to get some guys fooled into 2 strike counts. It's his 4th strikeout. 2 1/3 innings of work. He's retired 7 guys, 4 of them via strikeouts.
Well, here comes Andrew Bell. Bell hit into an error his first time up, also got on base his 2nd. And just like many others, he came around to score in both of those strips to the plate. I don't know what that controversial first at-bat in the 2nd inning. I think that was a hit. third base side?
There's been a lot of controversial ones throughout the course of the year. Not sure.
The 1-0 is a fastball high and outside.
I'm sure I'll tell you what, I think Andrew Bell probably thinks it's a hit.
Oh, yeah.
I would
He
tell
wants
you,
it to be a hit.
Ty Eicher probably thinks it's a hit. And then I believe on the mound at that time it was still Noack.
Yeah.
Noack probably thinks it's an error.
Noack wants that to be an error for sure, as the time is called by Bell. Still with 2 runners on, the Swamp Bats were able to work a leadoff walk by Romano and a hit by Minolfi, but struggling to cash them in here. Bell ahead in the count. The 2-0. Breaking ball on the outside corner. Great backdoor pitch to Bell for the first strike. Been going with that slider a lot more than the book says. Obviously, with new pitchers into the league, it's hard to get a good read on them, as definitely now Mountaineers having some action heat up over in their bullpen.
Right, of course, a month and a half off of live pitching will do that, trying to work on some things. Summer collegiate season really could throw out the previous arsenal and book that you have on these guys when it's their first appearance.
With Cohen Smith in the bullpen for the Mountaineers, as that one's in there for a strike. That'll run the count full. Cohen Smith had a decent amount of work in the last outing against the Swamp Bats. He was the last pitcher in line, last available arm that the Mountaineers had in that outing, and he just had it tough where they ran out of juice and the Swamp Bats were able to take advantage. And swung on and missed, strike 3. The first inning of the Swamp. Obviously, with a couple days off, that helps with the rain out yesterday and the day off before that. As that's healthy cut on and missed for the first strike.
Yeah, and Apple's someone that was alerted that he could pitch tonight, and especially with the way that this game is starting to shift, you may start to see him make his way towards the bullpen eventually, maybe.
We've seen it before. Wouldn't put it by him. You know, and Vermont loves their two-way players, don't they? I mean, you also had the new stop and camera behind the plate. He looks like he's a bullpen arm as well.
Yeah, Jack Rollo, a two-way player. He was hitting last night. Pulled his hamstring, though.
Forster sets the 2-1. That one misses as well. Forster behind in the count, 3-1.
Rollo, the two-way player. Matthew Minkler, who also, of course, is injured right now. He got injured lifting earlier this week. He's getting checked on, but a two-way guy, pitched throughout the course of the year and also hit everyday shortstop.
The 3-1 from Forster's healthy cut at that one as well. And that'll run the count full. And, I mean, obviously, one we can't forget, Daniel, your center fielder for the Mountaineers, came in to pitch in that very high-scoring game in that alumni field last time. These two teams squared off. Forster sets the payoff pitch coming. Taking in the dirt for ball 4. So first base runner of the inning for the Mountaineers with 1 out.
Yeah, back to Conlon Daniel, who pitched, of course, against Keene and had that grand slam in the same game. I asked him after the game, when was the last time that you pitched? And he said that he was technically entering right state as a two-way player, and he was pitching all the way up until the fall, and then they said, all right, we don't really need you to pitch, just focus on hitting. And
on the offensive side so far as pitchers that were able to throw.
Yeah, shift of pace for sure.
Yeah.
And that's something I think Vermont loves, having Cohen Smith in this middle relief area, because if you start him out at 91, 92 with a starter on the hill and that type of velocity, and then you go to the pen with someone with a lower velocity, sometimes you'll see the guys with the lower velocities get beat up a little bit. I think you have a guy throwing 91, 92 in your middle innings, that works out well.
And being down this much, you just want to get the bats up as quickly as possible, hold things to where it is, limit that damage. The 2-2 struck him out. Cohen Smith starting his outing with the strikeout on Herring.
That's a tough guy to retire. I mean, really everybody is, and of course this guy coming to the plate in Ripken Reese, also a tough act.
Ripken Reese has 6 RBIs to start this game. Obviously, as we mentioned before, tallied 11 total bases with his 2 homers and a triple. And we've heard it before, he's 2 at-bats away from a cycle if he's able to get a single and a double. He's got the hardest ones to the side. We're here only in the 5th inning, so he definitely has a couple plate appearances, God willing, for him.
I think he tries to go for I mean, you got to, right? When you go up to the plate, though, are you thinking about that? Like, how do you change your approach? You're just trying to get a hit.
The difference is from going after the cycle, your average going after the cycle, is that he has 2 home runs hit today. So you also have that other accomplishment, hitting 3 home runs in 1 ball game. So he might be thinking, hey, I want to put another one over the wall here. Fair. This time he's batting from the left-handed batter's box for the first time today. His first 3 plate appearances coming from the right-handed batter's box with the lefty on the mound. And he has more power from from being a right-hander.
Yeah.
So now he's a left-hander. He might be trying to hit for that average. He takes that one. He's ahead in the count 3-1. So he has the advantage here looking for his pitch.
Well, now I feel like you got to green light him, right? I mean, he probably does have
he's got
2 to 3 more plate appearances after this, maybe.
Yeah.
As long as he stays in the game, but I think you got to green light him.
3-1, fouled away. That'll run the count full. 90-mile-per-hour fastball on that one.
I would love for a ball to be in the range of him probably being able to stretch it to a triple, and he holds up at second. I would love to watch that because you very rarely see a guy get the triple first.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's got 2 of the hardest things knocked out. Taken for ball 4, so we'll have to wait to see if any progress happens on the cycle run, but a leadoff, well, not a leadoff after 1 out, a walk for the Swamp Bats.
A lot of walks tonight for Keene, which is impressive considering the amount of damage they've done with the power at the plate. It's the 5th walk in 5 innings.
Yeah, and it's been starting with being a pitcher. When you have a team getting up on you like that, it's hard to attack the strike zone and have that confidence to attack the strike zone when you know the Keene hitters are just going to be belting them out there. Here's Xavier Perez, a man that the Swamp Bats picked up just about 2 weeks ago and has immediately made a mark. Already has a homer in this game with that RBI. Reached base his last time up as well with a walk. Reese leads off of first base. Perez ahead in the count, 1-0. As he grounds that one to short, this could be 2. Brazier on to second for 1, to first, in time. 6-4-3, the 3rd double play we've seen in this ball game. Swamp Bats. Zach Thompson, of course, not being fond of being called Scott. We were messing with him all the time. We'd do some yard work, and going on with that as well, Keene Vorster being in the game, do some work around the community, the both of them. They'd like to do yard work for Swamp Bats fans in the Keene area, and, you know, having the pleasure of doing it both with them. They like to mess with each other. And, you know, Keene's name being Keene, Zach loves to make fun of Keene and call him Kyan. You know, just some dude banter.
I thought you were going to say call him Keene Swamp Bat or something like that.
Nah, just some kind, because, you know, Keene's not an easy name to pronounce when you first see it for the first time, you know. Keene Vorster, born in South Africa, grew up in Texas, and now works his way into Keene for the Swamp Bats here. He's 18 years old, turns 19 in September. The 2-1 pitch is fouled away, and that'll even the count at 2.
You know, you mentioned it being tough to pronounce the name, and similar to Dominic Camera, his name is spelled Camera. And, you know, all of us up here, when we first saw the name rostered, we thought, all right, well, that's Italian. It's be something different. It's not. It's just Camera. It's awesome. Met him today for the first time, and he's like, that's the first time he's got the name right. Well, I had a little bit of insider info.
That one in the left center field, that's going to fall for a base hit. Herring corrals in the center field, but it looks like he's going to advance to second without a throw, and it's a stand-up double to lead off this inning for Gates.
Well, that'll work. So he rips his first hit. Camera for his first start in the Mountaineer uniform. He's aboard with an extra base hit, a double, showing off. Smile there, he's happy about it. He was hustling around first tonight. I think he might have caught the outfield off guard a little bit.
Yeah. I'm going to put that one down as a double. I'm not sure what happened with Herring out in center field, but some positional changes as well. We've Alexander Tupou coming in to first base, and looks like Perez shifts from first base over to right. Vorster ahead in the count. Looks back at second, Gates. The 0-1. Off the outside corner, that'll be the first ball.
But yeah, back to what I was saying earlier, Dominic Camera's now on second base. He said that's the first time anyone's got it right on the first try when I asked if his last name was just Camera. And his roommates, though, from his freshman year, George Washington and Ty Acker, and now Sam Gates, who's at the plate. They told me it beforehand. I just wanted to double check and make sure. But yeah, I had a little bit of insider info on that.
A little bit of insider info.
Of course, they were largely a part of recruiting him here.
That's true. That plays a big part in the NECBL because obviously you don't get paid to play here. It's a big opportunity for these players to make an impact and get their name known for some recognition out during the summer. And you know, it's hard to go and recruit as teams, but when you have players that know each other, it plays a big part.
For sure.
Forster behind the 3-1 is up and in for ball 4. So 2 leadoff base runners for the Mountaineers here in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, and Matthew Minkler, who we were talking about earlier, he's not with the team currently, but he was a large factor in bringing in a lot of these new arms. I believe his tally is now 6 new pitchers that he's brought in.
Here comes Stephen Bangs out to the mound. There's Skyler also out to visit him. I'm sure this is going to be a conversation. Another one as recent before with David Rodriguez. You have a 9-run lead out there. No reason to, fiddle around with the strike zone. Go ahead and attack the strike zone, of course. Stephen Bangs recently graduated from Franklin Pierce University. Just finished up in the region finals back in late May, and talking to the young arm in Keene Forster, like I said, he was 18 years old, just finished up his freshman year in Louisville. He's found himself with some trouble with 2 leadoff runners facing the middle of the order. Daniel. The first pitch to him is bunt attempt, able to put it down the third baseline. Romano charging in, throw to first, in time. Daniel with a successful sacrifice attempt after a great play by Romano limiting the hit. There's 1 out.
That was a great play from Romano because Colin Daniel's probably the fastest guy on this roster for Vermont, and he was hustling, and he thought he beat it out, but it was a great play from the third baseman. Charged that, read it well. He reacted quickly. Accurate throw over. That's a really tough play.
Especially getting caught off guard like that. When your team's down by 9 runs, when your team's ahead 9 runs, you're not expecting a bunt from the other team, especially a speedy guy like Daniel at the plate. I'm sure that was more of a bunt for a hit attempt
steal a base hit,
than a sacrifice.
Try to catch him sleeping,
So a great job by Romano limiting that as the first pitch is swung on and fouled off the foot of Pagano for the first strike.
Yeah, and I mean, the fact that Forster went fastball, I think, also kind of didn't really work out in Daniel's favor because it got that bunt to roll a little bit further towards the third base side for Romano, who charged it quickly and got to it fast.
Chance to get right back onto the board for the Mountaineers. They still trail by 9, but 2 runners in scoring position here for Pagano. He's behind an 0 count. The pitch taken high, and that'll even it at 1. Pagano with runners in scoring position. Not exactly where you want it. Batting .333 actually. That is where you want it. Joey Pagano, 4 RBIs in his 9 at-bats.
I'll take it.
Yeah, why not? As the breaking ball misses, and that'll run the count to 2 and 1. Actually, yes, Pagano is batting .222 with runners in scoring position. That was Charlie Rogan that's batting .33 as he's no longer a part of the team.
Correct.
The 2-1, taken high. Pagano still with 4 RBIs, though, with runners in scoring position.
I like the way you say his last name. Very Italian sounding. Pagano.
Italian. Pagano. Pagano. I know you appreciate it, Mr. Pellegrino.
I know Pagano appreciates it, too.
He's ahead in the count with 1 away. The 3-1 pitch taken high, and that'll load the bases here with 1 out.
I think that just makes the play that Romano made at third even so much more important.
Yes. You have some guys, it's like over at third base, something going on here. Is jogging off the field is Camera. It's like a thrown out at third base. So while that walk was happening, we were doing our stat book. A throw went to third in time. And that's going to be the second out of the inning. So Camera jogging over from second to third, went off the bag at third, and he got tagged out for the out. And that'll be 2 away. Runners at first and second. And Smith steps up to the plate.
I'm not going to lie, I totally missed it.
I mean, I was looking at my scorebook, you know, time to walk. You know, you don't see a lot of pickoff attempts after a walk, but that time looks like Camera was rounding third after he was jogging over, and the Swamp Bastards caught him off guard. Interesting to see what that goes down on. Maybe a pickoff attempt?
I don't know how that's ruled. I have no idea.
But there's 2 away here in the bottom of the 5th. 2 on, 2 out. And the pitch is taken on in there for a called strike. Forster ahead 1-2. Smith has yet to have a registered at bat as he reached base both times via the walk. Behind 1-2. Breaking ball doesn't miss, or just misses. Looks like Forster, for the past couple innings of his work, that curveball, he has yet to really found a snap towards it. It's missing high pretty often.
Yeah, it is. You know, kind of just a little bit of a timing and rhythm thing, and then I think also because they're seeing the ball well right now, Vermont.
2-2, 2 on, 2 out. As that one's flared foul, and they'll do it again.
Of course, Brandon Smith, who's been a good bat so far, he got into a full count last time up. Was hit by the payoff pitch. He walked his first time up.
Daniel leads a second. Pagano off of first. Another try at the 2-2 pitch. Struck him out. Keene Forster able to work out of the jam. Plate takes the first pitch, called for a strike. Hit into a double play his last time up over at short. Also grounded out to short back in the first, but he worked a walk back in the second.
Still think it's pivotal to talk about what happened in that last half inning with Camera just being thrown out at third on where he was standing at third, and it was after a walk to load the bases. And he was just off of third base, and the catcher, Skyler, just threw over to third, and they tagged him out. He just didn't go back to the bag.
I mean, that was impressive by TJ Skyler, noticing that he wasn't returning the bag, because with runners at second and third, you know, you can get lazy at third base. And especially when you're down by 9 runs, it's so pivotal that you don't make base running mistakes like that. And looked like leading off at third was Camera. He just did not return back to the bag, and lazy base running ended up costing him.
I mean, it caught everybody off guard. Like, it just...
There's not a single reaction.
Yeah.
And I'm having trouble looking down at my scorebook after every pitch now. So I'm trying to, like, pay attention, make sure we don't miss anything
I've never
else,
seen really anything like that before.
The 1-2 is taken off the plate for ball 2.
And it wasn't even like a hidden ball trick or anything crazy like that. It was just a toss over.
It was your textbook pickoff attempt by a catcher.
On a walk to load the bases with a guy already at third.
That's right. The 2-2. Driven to left field. That's going to fall for a base hit. A leadoff hit for Jaros. His first of the day. Well, 94 off the bat as he was able to take that off-speed pitch, that 81-mile-per-hour changeup. And he got ahead of it, but still was able to really barrel it up and drive it to left.
Yeah, now there's only one guy remaining in the lineup without a hit, and that would be Nick Romano. And he, of course, has also reached via walk, but he had a grand slam in game 1.
As he fouls that one back. Nick Romano also at the left side of the plate now for the first time today, where he was at the right side of the plate. And, you know, just a couple games ago against these two teams, he was on the left side of the plate where he launched the go-ahead grand slam here at Recreation Park. The 0-1 to him is taken outside. A Camera does not corral that one. Lets it go to the backstop as Jaros is able to advance to second safely.
It had been a while since the last wild pitch slash passed ball for the Mountaineers, and especially in this game, I don't think there was one yet. They had 0 last night, and I mean, it was a problem all season long up until really last night for the Vermont Mountaineers, and they've been strong. I think it was 14 innings without one, but of course that now changes here.
I think that one might go down as a pass ball.
Yeah.
So that one skips away. There's a wild pitch as it bounced before the plate. And looks like Jaros will go to third without a throw.
Nobody can do it like I can.
So Cameron, hey, jinxing?
Yeah.
Jinxing? No one can do it like you.
Wow. 14 innings without it, then I said something. There's another one.
Well, a wild pitch and a pass ball, and Jaros, after the leadoff hit, gets the third after just a few pitches later. And that'll cause an immediate mound visit as Cameron goes to visit Cohen Smith on the mound.
I think there was a few from Smith in that last half inning. There's nobody on, I don't
Right.
at the time of them, so they don't really get recorded.
They
But
don't
like,
count.
yeah,
Just missing outside the zone. And obviously catchers
Right.
don't put in the same effort. As that one's driven to left center, it looks like that one's going to get down for an extra base hit. Jaros is easily scoring safely and rolling into second base with an RBI double is Nick Romano, the last swamp ad in the starting lineup to get a hit.
there it is for Nick Romano. Figured it was a matter of time there, and of course, now Chandler Tupa, who's going to be inserted in after being in as a defensive sub, he's now on deck, so trying to make it 10.
So far, every swamp ad in the lineup has gotten on with a hit. As Ty Manolfi steps in, still with nobody away. First pitch to him is inside for ball one.
Sticking with the theme here, every swamp bat has scored except for Nick Romano. So if Ty Manolfi or Tupo is able to drive him in, check that box.
You know, I hate to keep mentioning the last time these two teams played, but it was so significant.
So ridiculously crazy, yeah.
Each swamp bat in the lineup of that ball game at Alumni Field had 2 hits. So it was a multi-hit game for every swamp bat in that lineup.
It checks out.
Yeah.
I guess 25 hits for as a team, that will do that.
Very eventful 17-11 game that we had at Alumni Field. 12-2 lead for the Swamp Bats. Here with nobody out, Manolfi takes that one for another ball.
I think we talked about this last time, but the red Flyers batting helmet with the purple. It's an interesting contrast of colors there.
You got the red, you got the light blue on top of it, you got the black jerseys on. That one misses low.
You know, I was talking with you about this. I've been working the youth summer baseball camp for the Vermont Mountaineers,
Yeah,
and you
right.
see a lot of the kids, they rock similar style fits in terms of a lot of colors.
But
You know, neon green, orange, blue, white.
But the thing is, it's not for, you know, uniform. They're out
Fair.
there just throwing on
Just
clothes.
repping it, yeah.
Throwing on clothes. They wake up in the morning, they're going to play ball.
Yeah.
At that age, you don't care. It's that pitch. The fastball nips the bottom corner of the zone for the second strike, and that'll run the count full.
Yeah, we mic'd up a kid. That was fun. That video's up on the Vermont Mountaineers social media page if you're interested.
Lots of shout-outs to
Yeah, I got to.
the Mountaineers.
It's good for the brand.
Ball 4 is taken as that has no business being in the strike zone. And Manolfi works a walk. 2 runners on here with nobody out, and already a one runner scored in the top of the 6th.
Yeah, now here's Chandler Tupo, who's going to try to check a box off.
Yep, Chandler Tupo, newly entered into the game. He goes to first base. He replaces Harris, who made his debut at the Swamp Bats today, but checked out of this game early. Don't know the reasons just yet as Tupo takes a healthy cut at that one for the first strike.
Cohen Smith, encouraging sign there. Get the first pitch strike, stealing a fastball, heart of the zone. Think guy looking to take. And its first appearance up after watching a couple of pitches miss from him.
You know, before the newly addition of Xavier Perez to the Swamp Bats, we saw Tupo in every game for the Swamp Bats. He was an everyday starter at first since day one. He's one of the guys on opening day. He's been with us since the Danbury loss, and he's been there as that wild pitch gets away from camera behind the plate, and the runners will advance once again. So a wild pitch with nobody out, 2 runners in scoring position with Chandler Tupo looking to make it happen.
Yeah, and the issue is just creeping back in for this Mountaineers pitching staff, specifically the bullpen with the command and the wild pitches just issuing free bags. Now 2 in a scoring position, infield moves in.
Romano leads off a third as that is a hit by pitch. That'll load the bases right up very quickly. Chandler Tupou does reach base. He doesn't look like he's too happy getting hit by a pitch in his first at-bat here with a 10-run lead. But just like that, another bases-loaded opportunity for TJ Schuyler last time he was up with the bases loaded. He launched a homer. A little bit of grand slam action at Alumni Field.
I feel like everyone's launched a homer here.
I feel like everyone's hit a grand slam in these, within these two teams.
Seriously.
Against each other. There's been 3 grand slams on the season between these two teams, one going back to the game 1 at Recreation Park from Nick Romano, who leads off a third. First pitch is driven down the line. That'll go foul.
Yeah, and Acker read that one quickly off the bat and almost had a leaping chance at it.
Schuyler will ask for a new bat after that foul ball. Looks like he's on the attack, though, after that pitch. And why wouldn't you? With a 10-run lead, you hit a grand slam just a few days ago. Go right back at it. No reason to wait back on the pitch, you know, you particularly would take.
Keep on swinging.
Schuyler with runners in scoring position. Batting 130 with 23 at-bats with runners in scoring position, 6 RBIs, and just the 1 home run. As that's on the outside corner for the first strike, for the second strike. Great breaking ball there out of the hand of Smith.
Yeah, Smith needed that one. Now he's got a chance to retire someone via strikeout, which is huge. Bases loaded, nobody out.
The 0-2. Flared it to the right side. Smith getting under it in foul territory. He makes the grab. Romano bluffing the tag attempt. He'll retreat back to third, so 1 out. No advancement on the base paths.
That's what you need if you're Cohen Smith. Just an unproductive out. Hold all the runners.
Andrew Bell coming up to the plate. He also has some familiarity with the runners' bases loaded. He got hit by a pitch to walk off a game early on in this season, just a couple weeks ago. It was his first game with the Swamp Bats, actually. Steps in with only 1 away as he fouls that one off. Cohen Smith asking for a new ball. Looks like Smith will have another multi-inning game under his belt against the Swamp Bats. They haven't come easy.
And of course, best team in the league offensively and record-wise. Tough to have your longest outings against them.
Yeah. Now in a game where your team needs you, your bullpen's depleted. There is some action, however, in the bullpen for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, of course, they used 5 arms last night, which normally isn't great, but the way things have been going, some of those guys could still pitch.
Yeah. Fouled off down the left side, and Bell behind the count 1-2.
The base is loaded, 1 out, so looking for a ground ball if you're Vermont. And they're just to move the middle infield back, corners playing in.
It's like Bennett Sheeler getting warmed up in the pen, a catcher for the Mountaineers now.
Oh, we're getting crazy.
Another position player, why not? Throw him out there.
Oh, that's going to be electric.
As Smith misses with that one, that'll even the count at 2.
You don't know how quick I just sat out of the seat when I heard that. I'm so ready.
Yeah, Bennett Sheeler warming up in the pen. Warmed quickly.
He just caught last night and ended the game with a caught stealing. Now he might pitch.
The 2-2 to Bell. Check swing. He did go around. Home plate umpire Jeffrey Kinney saying Bell went around for the 3rd strike.
Huge strikeout for Smith, of course. But I would love to hear that conversation with Kevin Smith, relaying that message or telling Bennett Sheeler, hey Bennett, get warm.
Yeah, right?
I would love to have that mic'd up.
I mean, as a position player, you got to love that. Even in a game where your team's not particularly putting out the best performance.
There he is. He's warming up right now. From my knowledge, hasn't pitched, I don't think, collegiately.
Jack Herring takes a healthy cut at that one for the 1st strike. There's 2 outs here. Runners leading from each base. Romano off a 3rd, Manolfi off a 2nd, and Harris, actually Tupou, off a 1st. The 0-1, taken outside.
You know, we had Bennett Sheeler on during an in-game interview with us up here in the booth on the Sunday doubleheader.
Yeah.
Pitching didn't come up. He said he was working really hard defensively, catching-wise. You know, he was focused on hitting, of course, just trying to get things going. He went to the mustache look to try to get the bat warm.
That one's off the plate. Count goes 2-1.
Of course, Cohen Smith would love to just get out of this inning, give him the 7th and a clean inning.
Look at Marcello Mastroianni with the bat in his hands over in the bullpen. Speaking of two-way players, I know Marcello will love an opportunity to hit.
Yeah.
2-1 is driven to right center field. That's going to fall for a base hit. One runs in. Here comes Ty Manolfi. He will score. Getting waved around is Tupou, but he'll hold up at third. It's another 2 RBI double for the Swamp Bats. It's 14-2.
Well, we're officially on lookout for a new season high in run total watch.
Yeah.
5 more to go to tie what Keene put up against Vermont in the win last week. This is Cam Hartenstein coming out, so it's probably just going to be a mound visit. Normally it's Kevin Smith who comes out to go to the bullpen. Things could change, you never know, but I would expect
It's coming into this game. Those 2 homers coming on. He also had a multi-home run game from both sides of the plate earlier this season in a doubleheader. Game 1 of a doubleheader.
I just saw Bennett Schuler give the signal that he's ready when needed.
Yeah.
He was warming up, and he just gave the signal that he's ready.
He's got that arm loose. You don't have to worry
Yeah.
about him. As a position player, I was talking about this before. You know, even though your team's not particularly putting up the best performance, you get told to go warm up in the bullpen. You get pumped.
Oh, yeah, that excites you.
As that one swung on and missed for the first strike to Ripken Reese.
Yeah, and Foster Apple, who's at second, someone that could throw later. You know, he was excited to hear what his velocity was because it was his first time pitching since high school, and he told me that he was his ace with his high school team.
Hey, there you go.
So, I mean, first time getting back out there, you get the mountain jitters again.
The 2-1 to Reese is fouled off, and that'll even the count at 2.
Of course, you got to keep an eye here on Ripken Reese.
Yeah.
Double and single away from the cycle after 2 homers and a triple to start his night, plus a walk in the 5th.
He's yet to get a hit against Cohen Smith, who he's seen before. 2 on, 2 out. The 2-2 pitch swung on and fouled away. Half the team from the Mountaineers started to jog towards the dugout, but they'll retreat back to their positions. One of those being Foster Apple at second base. It's like he might go into the dugout and ask for an opportunity from one of the pitching coaches, maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some guys definitely want to get a look.
Yeah. Tupou off a second. Herring off of another bag as that one's to Apple onto first in time. And that will retire the side, but
Yeah.
12-run lead for the Swamp Bats.
I would say so. It'll be interesting to see if Keene, they've got 15 hits. They had 25 in that game against Vermont last week. They had 17 runs. Of course, they're at 14. So they're close to topping those totals.
So some positional changes as well for the Swamp Bats. We have Zach Thompson, the birthday boy, turning 22 today, heading behind the plate. Over and right, Jack Herring moved from center to right field. Gabe Pitts heading into the game over to center field, and Perez in left. The first pitch off the outside corner for Max Webb.
We've got another position player warming up. We've got Braden Smith out there in the bullpen getting warm. That's the first baseman, Braden Smith, all right.
So it might be Smith to Smith, Cohen Smith to Braden Smith.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. Vermont Mountaineers mixing it up. You can't say that they don't have an interesting approach this season. They really can't.
Yeah. A lot of Smiths
A lot of
involved.
Smiths.
Kevin
A lot of
Smith.
Smiths, a
Kevin
lot
Smith, head coach.
of position players coming into games. I mean, you got to love it.
Molly Smith, broadcast director.
There you go. Shout out to Molly Smith. She was her and another producer and Mike Kelleher. They were working through some troubles before the game, getting everything set up nicely for us. They do a great job as they've done all season.
Yeah, stuff that I definitely could not have worked through and worked out. So shout out to them, because this would not be on and working the way it is without them.
They fielded it with ease, Rocco. And we
Yes.
can be nothing but grateful for them. As Weber fires that one across. The count even at 2 now. Smith continues to fire in the bullpen. Weber sets the 2-2. high and inside. Now to run the count full.
You know, when we were on the bus ride down, I forget where it was to last week, Braden Smith got called up to the front of the bus, and head coach Kevin Smith asked him, he said, hey, can you throw? Can you give me an inning or two? And he goes, Coach, my issue would be I throw too many strikes.
Oh, yeah. We talked about this last broadcast.
So we might actually get to see it come to fruition here.
That one's taken outside for ball 4. Just like that. A leadoff base runner for the Vermont Mountaineers.
First time aboard for Addison Ainsworth. Vermont's worked a lot of walks. That's one bright spot. I mean, offensively, 2 runs isn't anything overwhelming. Of course, only 4 hits, but they have worked their fair share of walks with now 5.
Yeah, lots of walks, lots of patient at-bats. You know, you get that pitch count up, you can still put up those numbers that you want to. Obviously, only 2 runs to show for it right now, but we're still only in the bottom of the 6th. Now to bring up Ty Acker. Max Weber still working on the bump for Swamp Bats. Only had 2 appearances so far this season. Supports 9 ERA after 2 games. 5 innings under his belt. As the runner goes, the throw into second is in time. Zach Thomas firing a caught stealing on his birthday for the first out.
2 really good arms for this staff in Keene, with Skyler, who displayed it last time up. Kevin Smith, I don't think, is too thrilled with the call. Maybe trying to argue that he's blocking the base, maybe? I'm not sure.
Did he call for time for that? It looks like a pitch was about to be thrown and
Just started walking out.
Heading out into play there. It was interesting to see the umpire, first base umpire over there, telling him, hey, wait, let's call timeout here. Looks like they'll be talking about that call.
Facial reaction by the base umpire. Looks like he's not buying too much into whatever he's trying to argue.
Yeah. And Tim Barrett over at the field's umpire, taking a listen, Coach Smith, but
well, it looks like he's going to get him to at least talk with his other base umpire.
yeah, so that's John DiGaravano, the other base umpire today. We'll be discussing with Tim Barrett that call. Max Weber just looking to throw here. Looks like the call will be confirmed. It'll be a caught stealing from Zach Thompson. Nothing like the birthday put out there behind the plate. There's Jeffrey behind the plate, the home plate umpire, steps out and it clears everything up, says, let's get this thing underway here. 12-run game here in the bottom of the 6th. Might say wrap this up. The 0-2 struck him out. Max Weber riding off for the caught stealing for the second out.
It's a long time between pitches, so definitely an impressive pitch there for Vorster.
Yeah. And the junior from Felician, originally from Hicksville, New York, so the Long Islander, born September 19, 2005, looking for his 3rd appearance from the Swamp Bats. Already has 2 outs here. First pitch, taken low. Aaron just looking to make things seem less lean here. Try to get on base, pass the baton here in the 12-run ball game. The 1-0 taken for a called strike.
And Foster Apple aboard twice, single and a walk, and keep trying to get some momentum going with his bat. Been picking it up recently after a slow start at the dish.
Gets set. The 1-1 pitch in the dirt. Zach Thomas will try to appeal down the first base, but looks like first base umpire would not have it.
And Apple's really got one of the more unique batting stances, I would say. Definitely more upright, with that elbow high.
And bat facing the pitcher.
Yep.
The 2-1. Drilled foul.
So
See if a play could be made over there. It is by a bullpen arm for the Swamp Bats. Tips his hat to the crowd as well after making a great play on that one.
you know, I would think, you know, with the stance that Apple has, it generates a little bit more power, but I think it probably takes a little bit longer to get his swing around with how upright it is and with the angle it's at.
The 2-2. Breaking ball misses side.
Yeah, but he had a stretch last week, early in the week, where he started switching his plate discipline and approach, and it's carried in here tonight. He's just looked really conservative, and he's been taking pitches he shouldn't, or taking pitches he should, and not swinging at anything that he shouldn't.
The 3-2 off the outside corner. That'll be a 2-out walk for the Mountaineers.
Second walk of the night for Apple.
Yeah. And that's nice to see. Your batter's still putting up great plate appearances. You get patient at-bats. So they just need some hard contact to follow through with that. That'll bring up Razor, the shortstop for the Mountaineers.
I wonder if the kids went over to the baseball field.
With Apple leading off at first, the first pitch to him. Drilled off of his shin. Lucky as that shin guard, that'll go foul for the first strike. There's the fastball on the bottom outside corner, bottom inside corner, I should say. Weber's doing a great job locating his pitches so far. The sun's gone down here in Montclair, Vermont. Good brisk winds as well following through it. The 0-1 in there for a called strike. So Weber has him now on the ropes with 0-2 in the bottom of the 6th.
Apple's been dancing over there at first, and Weber hasn't really been
No,
thinking about him all that much.
no reason to with a 12-run
Yeah.
lead.
It was all over the skate.
Sets the 0-2. Breaking ball off the outside corner, just in the dirt. Great job by Thomas behind the plate to corral that one and keep it in front of him.
Bottom of the 6th here from the rec. And Vermont trying to get something going.
Beautiful view here you got.
Yeah, the backdrop is quite beautiful. I love how it changes throughout the course of the night.
Yeah. Runner goes, the 1-2 is dropped, and that'll be easy stolen bases. That one missed inside as well and low. That'll be the second ball, and Apple has a stolen base.
And of course, you know, view from up here as well is very, very good.
Yeah.
Can't complain.
No, not at all. Great night. The fans are out having a great time. It's depleted some as this game gone on, but as you mentioned, it is, you know, free admission night. Fans definitely will be interesting to see. As this game goes forward, they also sacrifice the designated hitter role as well, as now that'll be all position players. You got the pitcher in the lineup. So I'm
Correct.
sure it's going to be players to go through this ball game here, Rocco.
Yeah, I mean, Ben and Sheeler was warming up. I would assume he probably wouldn't be too happy if he just warmed up and then didn't get to go in. We'll see.
No.
So Ainsworth over at first, in for Braden Smith, and this first pitch is lifted in the air out to left field. It's going to be playable there for Pagano in left. He makes the catch. 1 out.
Well, pretty fair. That's a strike.
It is.
He's 1 for 1.
Yeah.
77 mile per hour fastball. It's got to be fastball. I mean, he's got to throw. Start with the fastball, right?
Yeah, might as well, right?
He hit that one about letter high, and Perez just wanted to jump all over it. Gabe Pitts stepping in now for the Swamp Bats. Some guy you really want to see. He's usually in tight games would lay down the bunt, but with a 12-run lead, he's probably not going to.
So here is Gabriel Pitts.
Gabe Pitts is definitely someone to watch. He's the sophomore out of the Central Connecticut State University. He's done a great job early in the season stepping in for the Swamp Bats. He was an everyday starter. To begin the season, he'd get on base and he'd immediately steal bases. And I had a chance to go on a podcast with him, chatter in the Swamp, and you know, we got a chance to talk about what's the approach when you get on. He says, it's simple. I just want to get to second base immediately. That's what I want to do. He's a fast guy. He provides that spark even when he's not starting. He's a pinch hit opportunity. He's a pinch runner opportunity. He's the spark you need off the bench for the Swamp Bats.
He faces Braden Smith, position player pitching. The first baseman, his pitch is ripped in the left, and it's going to hang up there for David Alvarez, who is in for Joey Pagano defensively. And, well, there's 2 gone in the inning.
95 mile per hour off the bat. I mean, 2 balls that are smoked to left, but not smoked too hard over in left field is Pagano. He's had a nice day over there in left.
So here is Nick Romano. He stays in the game. He's got a double and a walk tonight. Braden Smith to work a 1-2-3 inning. He goes with the off speed, I think, upstairs and misses. It's at 78.
I think that's his fastball.
I'm not sure.
He's been hitting 77, 78, I think.
That's some spin on it.
It does have some spin on it. That is the thing.
Not a spin rate expert, but he's almost in the 2000s there.
Ooh, there you go.
You can see Bennett Sheeler in the back of that shot in the dugout, who's just getting warm in the pen. Here's the pitch. And Romano floats one foul.
So do you think he's ready at all times, Bennett Sheeler?
I mean, he's a type of guy that's definitely always ready at all times. I don't know if he's ready to pitch right now after he got warm and now is just sitting in the dugout, but
maybe that bullpen session was for fun. Maybe it was a touch and feel type of thing.
maybe. 2-1 pitch. Flown back, out of play. 2-2.
You know, maybe send Sheeler to the bullpen, ask him, you know, throw a little bit, see how that arm feels. Don't know if he got positive feedback from it or not, but as a position player, I don't know if you'd give negative feedback. Be like, yeah, I feel great. Put me out there.
Yeah.
But they went with, you know, another arm, Smith.
Braden Smith trying to work the first 1-2-3 inning of the night. He misses outside. Did face the minimum, did Vermont in the 5th, but that was due to a double play ball. As Braden Smith has retired the first 2 hitters and is now looking for a 1-2-3 inning. The count's full at his pitch. Way up high. And that's a 2-out walk for
Braden,
Romano.
I'm sorry. That one
Not
was
a strike.
that one wasn't the problem of throwing too many strikes.
So we got another pinch hitter here.
Hey, he hit 80 on the previous pitch before that.
He did.
Though, so he's getting it up there.
So here's John Malone from Samford University. He's going to pinch hit.
He's a usual pitcher here. His last outing, he was on the bump. He was a starter for the Swamp Bats. But earlier on in the season, when the position players were limited for the Swamp Bats, he hit a home run.
He swings away first pitch. He sees, fouls it back. So we have a position player on the mound. We've got a pitcher in the batter's box. Let's get crazy.
Let's get crazy. You got a position player on the mound, as you mentioned, and a pitcher in the box. This is something that everyone wants to see. As you see smiles in the dugout of the Swamp Bats.
Have to be smiling through this. He swings away there, and Braden Smith has him 0-2.
I'll tell you, there's definitely some type of look at Ripken Reese behind him. He's cracking up back there. I mean, this is something everyone wants to see. He's gonna be swinging for the fences here. I mean, he's laughing at those 2 swings off, fouling both of those pitches. He's seeing the ball well.
Smith out of the stretch, question mark. Not sure if he really pitches from the stretch, deals. And this one's lifted out to right. Ranging over to the left is Gates in foul grounds. He's not going to get there.
Immediately looks at the dugout as John Malone. He's pumping his fist saying, another chance, another chance. I mean, we've seen him take advantage of these opportunities early on in the season. As I mentioned, in Game 2 of the season, he blasted a home run in Alumni Field over the left field fence. So we've seen power from him before. We played left field. Started in left field for us the first few games.
Hey, he's back into the dish here. Smith looks nice and fundamental out there. He's got the routine down, and his 0-2 pitch runs inside. And an emphatic bat toss over from Malone.
You got to get a shot over to the bullpen here. The whole bullpen of the Swamp Bats just absolutely locked into that at bat. They were all standing off the bench in a line form to watch that. That was fun to watch.
So they'll return back. First and second now, Braden Smith issues a 2-out walk and a hit by pitch. So Chandler Tupou, who was inserted in earlier tonight, he's at the dish.
He got hit by pitches last time up. Wasn't too happy about it.
He takes, it's 1-1. Tupou trying to get the statistical numbers up for Keene as they've hit the 15 mark in the hit column. 1-1 pitch from Braden Smith. The first baseman from the College of Charleston is ahead at 1-2.
Hey, they're still 10 hits away from breaking that hit record back in the last game against the Vermont Mountaineers.
This is true.
Something about the Swamp Bats offense.
Yeah. Fouled back into the netting. Do it again.
You got to wonder what the approach is as a position player facing another position player on the mound. You want to take advantage of it, but you don't want to get too ahead of yourself and get under a nice pitch.
Couple of foul balls here issued by Braden Smith. Nick Romano is on the base paths. He's the last remaining starter for Keene to have not scored a run yet. He's at second base. If he's able to score, it would be all 9. That pitch was clocked at 74 from Braden Smith, and this time he has a little flare shot to Ty Acker. And Braden Smith pitches a scoreless 7th after a 2-out walk and a hit by pitch.
You really, when you look at the standings, it says games back from first place. But what really matters,
pitch is popped up from camera behind home plate. It's the catcher ranging over, and that one hits the top of the netting. So another life for camera.
Good job there by Thompson. Great effort. As Weber will retrieve his mask. But as I was mentioned before, when you look at the standings, you see games back from first place. But what really matters is being in 4th place or less. There's no first-round bye with the NECBL playoffs. So you just want to sneak in, get that 4th seed, and you can go anywhere. Anything can happen in the playoffs. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting because in the North, you would say that there probably isn't a huge difference between 1st and 2nd. But I think that there is a huge difference between 3rd and 4th because the 4th place team is going to have to face Keene on the road in game 1 and then go back home for game 2, and then game 3 is necessary back on the road. But the difference between 3rd and 4th there, that's huge. Versus 1 and 2, the difference between, I mean, yeah, you get the home game in game 1, I don't think is too critical, and the difference in opponents isn't too critical either.
Right.
But it is dramatically important as Camera did go around there on that 2-2 pitch, so he is down on strikes to start the 7th. Strikeout for Weber.
Yeah, and you mentioned home field advantage, and this for the Swans, they really want to that. Every one of their 6 losses so far this season has been on the road. They've been undefeated at Alumni Field, being the home team. So that's been key. Home field advantage plays a huge part, and just the road team ERA is significantly different. At home, the Swamp Bats pitchers put up a 2.84 ERA away. Their ERA is 4.19.
And that's dramatically impressive considering it is obviously a hitter's friendly ballpark at my field.
Exactly. I mean, you see it everywhere. Every ballpark that comes, every ball team that comes in, they're able to spank the ball to the wall. But the Swamp Bats can really hone it in with their pitching craft. They're able to bring in, they know who they brought in. Guys who keep the ball on the ground or has strikeout stuff, and it's been proving costly. On the road, on the other hand, they're just going to have to stay consistent. Only 2 runs allowed in this game. They're able to dwindle it down.
Yeah, seriously, credit to the pitching staff tonight as well for Keene. Obviously the offense we've talked plenty about, but they've held Vermont to 2 runs on 4 hits. So they've done their job as well. Even if they didn't have 14 runs right now, they probably would be sitting rather comfortably. It is Sam Gates at the plate facing Max Weber.
We can talk, besides this game, it's going to be about consistency for the Swamp Bats being on the road. That's going to be key. They've done their job at home. A lot of season left. They're going to have to maintain consistency on the road.
Conlon Daniel will come to the plate after a 4-pitch walk to Sam Gates. So 1-out base runner for the Mountaineers. We'll see who pitches the next half inning. Braden Smith just worked through a scoreless 7th. The position player, Bennett Sheeler, was getting warm. Nobody else really warming up in the pen right now. So we'll see who it is. Foster Apple did go out. There is the runner. Gates is off from first, and the throw down from Thompson is not in time. Stolen bag for Sam Gates. He's in the scoring position.
If you question the coaching staff on how aggressive they are, that's it right there. They're down by 12, and they're sending runners. And they have a lot of confidence, even with the strong throw by Zach Thompson. It wasn't nearly in time to get him.
Yeah, that record, it doesn't go away even in a 14-2 game. They're chasing it.
Oh, yeah.
As Daniel goes right back up the middle, Weber has trouble fielding it, and Daniel is going to reach aboard to first.
Yeah, it just took a weird hop. Had to field it in between. That's one of those where you're debating subconsciously in your mind whether to field it forehand or backhand when it's about belt high on a hop like that. And he just went with the underhand, tried to scoop, but it hits the top of his glove. Rolls away from Weber. That's another base hit.
So Conlon Daniels aboard. As David Alvarez will hit his walk-up song, Nokia by Drake, playing throughout the park here, getting everybody involved.
Yeah. Junior from Northwest Florida State College.
He'll dig in here.
Hitting 182 on the season so far.
And he's started to make his talents known that he's a skilled barber.
Really?
He's on the bus pitching out ideas of what kind of haircuts he'd be giving to all the guys, and he was trying to bargain with head coach Kevin Smith. He started offering a $15 cut, and then he started up charging around $20, $25.
Wait, I mean, that's average haircut cost.
That's what we all said nowadays. I mean, that's not bad.
That's pretty cheap nowadays.
What are you getting? I'm not sure. I mean, Alvarez, I will say, he's got a pretty good cut. I don't know if he himself does it, but that's, you know, if you got good hair, maybe you're a good barber. That's my assumption.
Yeah, you walk into a barbershop, the last thing you want to see is someone cutting your hair is someone with a bad haircut.
Yeah, I agree.
So
yeah.
I'm sure they don't give it to themselves, but still.
Right. But you would know it looks good, you know. You know what to ask for. As Alvarez pokes this one to the left side, the third baseman Romano bounces one over to second. They get the runner, but a run does come home to score. And Sam Gates, it's 14-3.
Wow, what a job by Ripken Reese on that throw. He's letting these, but it worked. Last inning.
First pitch, fouled.
You right over here?
Yeah, trying to signal. We got a change behind home plate. Doing my best I can to signal of someone who's catching. I got into a catcher stance.
You did get into a catcher stance for a second, and I was just wondering what was happening.
Yeah, I believe it's Bennett Sheeler behind home plate.
That was great form.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah,
that was awesome.
Thank God we don't have a shot of that.
We need a camera up here.
We're losing it here in the eighth. Braden Smith, a position player on the mound, he deals. It's 2-1.
Yeah, he's not going away from that fastball. He's throwing it mid-70s to hit 80s once last inning. He's not shying away from it. Still attacking hitters.
This pitch is ripped in the air out to left field, and that's a weird hop, and it gets by David Alvarez in left. Heading over to second and getting there to start the inning is Thompson.
Well, there's birthday boy with the birthday hit. That one getting by in left field, of course, but a great job advancing after that base hit as well by Zach Thompson. Not Scott Thompson. Scott Thompson, you're watching. Proud moment of your son there, getting a hit on his birthday.
Happy birthday to him.
Yeah, the Georgia native. Gardner Webb, recent commit. He's pumped.
I believe it actually still is Dominic Camera behind home plate. Sheeler was just out there catching in the during the half break for Braden Smith, and then went back out over. Thought he had the gear on because he took it off. Either way.
So you got in the catcher stance?
Yes, for no reason, basically.
For fun.
Good stop there from Cameron. Yeah. It's always tough to see the numbers with the catcher's gear.
Of course.
He faces Andrew Bell, who's 2 for 4. 2 Ks, 2 singles, 2 runs scored.
And good job by Bell there on that previous pitch as well, when it goes over your head, to bring that bat down immediately and avoid the foul ball.
Braden Smith still out there as he yanks that pitch to the backstop. Runner from second and Thompson's over to third.
You gotta love the awareness by position players. Even after firing a wild pitch, they go and cover home plate. When Thompson's running from second to third and the ball's still loose, that's exactly what you want to do. Go cover home plate. And with the wherewithal, even as a first baseman on the regular, able to cover home on that one.
Swing and a miss.
Andrew Bell looking to make something happen. Had a slow start to his Swamp Bats career, but still coming in late. He's definitely made more than up for it in the field. His spectacular glove in the middle infield.
As that is a strikeout there for Braden Smith, his first punch-out collegiately.
Yeah, why not? 75-mile-per-hour fastball in the zone. Went to attack him there and just got Bell way ahead of it. Bell was sitting fastball, but when you're sitting fastball to a regular pitcher, you're usually sitting mid-80s. This time it's a 5-mile-per-hour fastball on the outside corner that he just pulled off on and couldn't make contact.
Braden Smith on the hill. He deals, and this pitch is ripped. It's hooking foul. Very well hit. It's going to clear the fence out there in foul territory. Roll all the way over to the soccer field.
Yeah, 362. And 362 feet right there from Jack Herring.
Well hit ball.
Yeah, a little bit.
So Braden Smith gets a strikeout of Andrew Bell. Now an 0-1 pitch is dealt in for a strike.
Now, do you think Jeffrey Kinney behind the plate is expanding strike zone at all here? It's tough as a home plate umpire when you have a position player on the mound. You know, I don't think he is, but
You never know.
Never know.
I would understand, I think. You know, it's a 11-run game.
11
You want guys to swing. It's the reality. Now, if he was throwing, I think, like in the high 80s, I think that's where it gets a little different.
I think we talked about that last game.
Yeah.
No, he's attacking the zone, throwing strikes, and he has a strikeout.
He's throwing strikes. That's right. Got to give him that. Here's the pitch to Jack Herring, who lays off. Herring tonight, 3 for 4, 2 singles, a double, 2 runs scored.
And I think a goal of the Swamp Bats here is to bat around and get John Malone back up to the plate. 'Cause that was entertaining for everyone to watch. John Malone in the designated hitter role, he replaced Ty Manolfi.
Smith misses at 74 off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Top of the order here, Ripken Reese is on deck. And he got the scoring started with a 2-run blast in the first inning and then another shot in the second inning. Fouled back out of play.
And we talked about his opportunity to be able to hit for the cycle, but that I don't know if that's going to be happening anymore. It's tough. Can't write it off. But
yeah, it's probably last at bat, I would guess. I mean, who knows, though? Position guy
know.
on the mound, it could get a little bit ugly.
Hey, he's throwing strikes.
Pokes this one foul.
And we talk about a lot of differences. We're on the road, so at home. Here's Jack Herring, who's batting .294 at home. So he's had lots of success with the Keene Swamp Bats so far this summer. At home, of course, but on the road, Jack Herring. Found that one off. Jack Herring batting .192 on the road. Huge difference there, batting in the 290s at home and now on the road, batting in the 100s.
You know, you would sometimes think, oh, well, that might have something to do with it being a hitter's friendly park and shorter fence. He only has 1 homer coming into tonight, I should say. This one's ripped, though. It's well hit. This could be number 2, and it is. I put it into existence. Jack Herring goes deep, 382 feet over the right field fence, a 2-run blast to make it 16-3.
Well, there it is right there. A nice 79-mile-per-hour fastball on the outside corner and just ripped it over the right field wall. Line drive going 382 feet, 103 off the bat.
I think he's got to thank both of us for talking that a little bit into existence there.
Improved grand slam, and then comes in the pitch. You know, it's things like that where what makes this team whole is what I've seen.
Yeah. Versatile group of individuals, that's for sure.
And guys who can run, too. Guys that are willing to come into the game late, get pinch ran for, all can run. You know, these guys love to steal bases as well.
Foster Apple deals it off speed at 69, and Ripken Reese turned on it. He was early.
I see another bullpen guy with the bat down there. He just put it to the side, though. And he immediately, once that ball was fouled off to him, he went to try to bunt it as that ball was flying at him at 88 miles per hour.
1-2 pitch for Foster Apple is fouled back by Ripken Reese. I mentioned this is Apple's second pitching appearance. He pitched against Mystic in the 16-10 loss on Saturday. He's tossed 2 innings, allowed just 1 unearned run, 1 hit, 1 walk, a strikeout. So his ERA is still 0.
And what's fun to watch here is how many fans are sticking around as well here.
They've been sticking around throughout all of these games that have gotten out of hand throughout the course of the season. It's really impressive. Yeah. There was a stretch there where Vermont lost 6 in a row at home and ended that skid on Sunday with the Game 2 win and the doubleheader. And all the way through and through, these fans sticking with it, no matter the type of game, no matter the skid, always here. As Reese flies one left side. Acker, the third baseman, over, and Foster Apple has retired a hitter that has 2 home runs tonight.
Yeah, Reese walking towards the dugout now, smiling it off, talking to Perez as well, letting him know what to expect from the new position arm, and goes to the dugout knowing he's accomplished a big feat today. 2 homers and a triple. That's something you don't see every day, especially tallying 6 RBIs behind it.
Yeah, and I asked Apple earlier when the last time he pitched was. He said high school, and he said he was the ace of his staff, throwing 83, 85. All he really had to do, he said, was throw some strikes and off speed here and there, and it worked. And now he's getting some innings here. And he knew he was going to be hot tonight in case something like this happened.
I love, in every stadium I've been to, the navigation, the pursuit of the foul balls.
Yeah, there's a lot of hungry kids out there looking for a foul ball.
Every ballpark does not miss. At every single ballpark in this NECBL, and I'm sure in other college leagues as well, they love trying to pursue those balls.
You know, I'll tell this after the 0-2 pitch from Foster Apple to Xavier Perez. He misses. So I mentioned I was working the youth summer camp, and you just mentioned these kids all hungry for a foul ball. We had some extra Dunkin' Donuts today.
Oh, boy.
We offered to the kids, just put them out on the table, and we just let them at one time just put the finger. All right, first one to get them, you get them, and yeah, that was chaos. Ground ball left side, Alex Brazier cross in time for the out, and Foster Rodriguez gives him 3 innings in the start. He allows just 2 runs, one of them earned, punches out 4. Forster 2 innings pitched, Weber 2 innings pitched. Both of those guys good outings. Forster scoreless, Weber 1 unearned run. Now Andrew Lapine into the game.
A big show out, even during the chants. You got the young fans in attendance screaming out, "Hey yo!"
Yo. Ainsworth, this is hard hit in the air, left center field, but ranging over to get to it in time is the left fielder in Perez.
How about Perez getting on his horse there? A home run hitter at the plate. You know, also is known for being first baseman primarily. Obviously, he has a lot of experience in the outfield, but that time able to cover a lot of ground there in left field, working to his left and making that play.
So here is Ty Acker to face Lapine.
All right, so where's there some good food around here in Vermont? You know, up here in northern Vermont. I'm familiar with the Vermont area, especially the Killington area, but no, we're way north of that, about an hour at least, right? So
yes,
what's some good food around here? Where do you go to when you're like, I need that good stuff?
There's a couple of really good options, and I think there's a wide assortment of different foods around here. I'm still trying to try everything as Acker rips one to the right side. It's a great play by Tupa, the first baseman, who's going to go 3 unassisted for the putout. But yeah, had a couple of good burger spots around here. Had a Aranda's, a Mexican place that had some incredible quesadillas that I hit up before the game. Yeah, just there's a lot of different types of food around here. Really, you could find anything dessert-wise. They're thriving in Montpelier. The maple flavored everything.
Oh, you already know.
Is incredible.
Yep.
Here is the Stetson v. Stetson matchup, by the way. Foster Apple against Lapine. Foster Apple, of course, who's just pitched in the top half of the inning.
I'm like pitching and going to hit.
Yeah.
We suffered a home run. That was about it. Still attacked the strike zone. Got a couple good outs.
Swing and a miss.
You mentioned, you know, good Mexican food. If you ever go to New Hampshire, in the Fitzwilliam area, close to Keene, great Mexican place in Mexico as well. If you want to get some good, you know, chips and sausage, chips and, you know, good fajitas.
There's not a lot of Chipotles up here in the Northeast, is there?
There is.
Really?
In New Hampshire, there is.
Okay. I don't think there's a Chipotle around here.
There's one directly in Keene, like about 5 minutes from the field.
Interesting. I didn't think there was one in Montpelier. Foster Apple puts one in the air to center field. That one's down. 2-out base hit. He gets his teammate, Lapine, and he's aboard with 2 outs. Smiling over there, see him looking at him.
Feels good, you know, going out, pitching, and then getting the hit.
See, he's chirping at him a little bit.
Yeah. But you mentioned the maple flavored stuff as well. You go to Upper Valley, try the maple creamy.
Was there last night.
Oh yeah.
Interesting. Shout out to our producer, Mike Kellard. There are 4 Chipotle locations in Vermont, none of them in Montpelier. There's one in Bennington, Burlington, Rutland, and South Burlington. Good to know. Appreciate that.
Rutland. Rutland's fun to say.
Rutland. Sounds like a power-hitting first baseman.
Here comes DJ Rutland. Has 14 homers on the season here in the month of May.
Here is Alex Bracer at the plate. Oh, it's a 16-3 game. That's the reality we're in right now. Andrew Lapine, the submarine thrower on the hill from Stetson, and he gets a foul ball to the backstop. He's 1 strike away from getting out of the 8th.
Can't lie though, DJ Rutland sounds like a hitter. It sounds like
Definitely.
a real name. That sounds like a real name.
Oh, for sure.
Name my first son DJ now.
Yeah.
Yep, in the middle name, Rutland.
I like it. In there for a called 3rd strike. And Andrew Lapine, after giving up a hit to Foster Apple, his teammate, gets the punch out of Brazier to leave 1 stranded on 1 hit, no runs, no errors, and 1 left. 16-3, we're going to the top of the ninth. See if Keene can top their previous high against Vermont in 17 runs. They'll need 1 or more.
Guys.
This is the start of a cyber attack.
That is not good.
What? Breach? What? Never mind. I'll be right there.
Yep, ransomware. And this is the chaos it causes. But what if you could rewind to before the attack? Commvault recovers not just your data, but your business 10 times faster.
Like it never happened.
It's the fastest, most complete recovery anywhere, so you can be a continuous business.
Going on now at A&B Kia. It's port pricing on all new Kias. A&B now has its best inventory in years and its best pricing ever. You pay the price at port, period. Brand new Kia K4s. The country's lowest price car just got cheaper. Port price at $22,506. Kia Seltos all-wheel drive. Port priced at $27,283. 7-passenger all-wheel drive Kia Sorrentos. Port priced at $37,197. The inventory has never been better. The pricing can't get lower. Port pricing going on now at A&B Kia.
Foster Apple's back out there. He'll try to get through these final 3 outs in the 9th inning and try to keep Keene at just 16 runs. If they get the 17, they tie the season high they put up against the Mountaineers last week. If they get 2 more, then there's 18 and a new mark.
Yeah, we'll take a look around the league as well here in the top of the 9th. Over in Sanford, the Mainers defeated the North Adams Steeplecats 9-8 in a very exciting 7-inning matchup, first game of that doubleheader. And then the top of the 9th over in Upper Valley, the Nighthawks lead the Valley Blue Sox 10-7. That one might be wrapping up shortly. And over in Bristol, Connecticut, the Blues lead the Mystic Sooners in the top of the 9th as well, 4-1. And the bottom of the 6th in Sanford, Maine, this time in Game 2, the Sanford Mainers trail the North Adams Steeplecats in this one now, 7-4. And the Danbury Westerners lost at home to the Martha's Vineyard Sharks, 7-6.
If that holds there in Upper Valley, and of course Sanford is playing Game 2 of a doubleheader, they're trailing, there would be some movement in the Northern Division standings. Of course, Keene will sit comfortably in first no matter what happens, but it looks like it's going to be a win here. They'll move to 17-6. Upper Valley with a win would stay in 2nd place. Vermont with this loss would drop out of 3rd place. Now, whether they go to 4th and 5th depends on what happens in that Sanford game.
Right. And also Newport, there's an exciting game over there in the top of the 8th, but the Ocean State Waves are beating the Newport Gulls 5-4.
This one's hit on the ground, and the shortstop Brazier throws it, gets by Addison Ainsworth, and a leadoff base runner aboard. That's Pitts.
That's got to be a hit right there. Pitts was going to beat that out safely. With his speed, he's able to put anything on the ground and just put the pressure on fielders. Once that ball's hit, as an infielder, when you know Pitts is running out of that box, the pressure is on. You're going to have to make not only an accurate throw, but a strong one to beat out the speed of Pitts, and he does it right there, getting that base hit for the Swamp Bats.
It was, in fact, ruled a hit. Single to the shortstop. Foster Apple is on the mound. Now he faces Nick Romano.
That one's also going to be ruled a hit as well. The official scoring, it was going to beat that out.
Romano tonight, 1 for 3. Also a walk, 2 walks actually.
Yeah, we saw him back in the first inning hit that very sharp liner to third base, which really, set the tone. Even though Ripken Reese hit that home run right before him, it ended that inning. But Romano knew that is going to continue for the Swamp Bats. That hard contact that they had throughout that game. Second inning, they completely followed up, 6 more runs, get out to an 8-0 lead.
4-pitch walk to Nick Romano. He has his 3rd free pass of the night.
Now here we go, John Malone. Ladies and gentlemen. John Malone, who got hit by a pitch his last time, sporting the pink bat.
Oh, he swung away at that one.
There's a healthy cut.
75 up above the zone from Foster Apple.
Yeah.
We've got second baseman versus pitcher in reverse roles. 0-2.
Some action in the Swamp Bats bullpen as well. Looks like Todd Knibbe be getting warmed up over there, looking to close this game out.
As that's a strikeout there for Foster Apple. He's starting to rack in the punch-outs here in relief. His first of tonight. He's got 2 on the season.
He's not happy about that one. He's walking back to the dugout, bat trailing him, dragging it on the ground, head to the sky, knowing he could have done better, especially against a position player arm.
Here's Tupou. Grounds that one foul. Now these 2 position arms for Vermont and Braden Smith and Foster Apple. They've got 2 strikeouts, 1 apiece.
It's interesting for the Swamp Bats to be getting their everyday closer up, the guy who's definitely their lights-out arm out of the bullpen as that one flies back at us. That's their everyday closer, the guy that's lights out. He hasn't had an earned run in Todd Knibbe. He looks like he's going to come in and close this one in a 13-run ball game. So interesting to see, but when you want the game to be over, that's the guy to call upon.
Yeah, he came into the 8th in game 2 and struck out 5 straight. Took until the 9th inning with 2 outs for a base runner to reach for Vermont on a base hit. Maybe try to keep him ready and keep him fresh, and if his pitch count gets up, get him out of there, but try to get him in for a quick, maybe 15-pitch limit. We'll see.
Yeah.
Foster Apple's 1-2 pitch with 1 out to Tupou is in the air to left field. It's going to be the shortstop, actually, Alex Brazier, who's got it. That's out number 2.
Tupou's going to be not the happiest after that one. He's one of the only hitters in the lineup today with more than 1 or 2 at-bats without a hit.
Here's Zach Thompson with 2 outs and 2 on. Foster Apple deals, and the pitch is low. It's 75 there. 18 hits tonight for Keene. They had 25 in game 2 against the Mountaineers. This pitch is hit well into left field. Back goes Alvarez. He's going to be under it. He makes the catch, and Foster Apple. Here's his 1-2. Just missed upstairs to Gates. Gates back in the leadoff spot tonight after hitting in the 3-hole last night. 2 walks, stolen bag, or unscored. One of the toughest arms he'll see this whole season in Knibbe. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Got him swinging for the first strikeout and out number 1 in the 9th.
Yeah, there it is, right there. Something common goes with that fastball. His bread and butter. He can paint the corners with that pitch and just get it by any hitter he would like.
So he's got 1 retired. Now he faces Conlon Daniel. This is a cool matchup here. Conlon Daniel, probably one of, if not the best hitter in this Mountaineers lineup, transferring to the University of Cincinnati. Faces Knibbe, possibly one of the best arms in this whole league. 1 out, the pitch. Daniel fouls it off. Dominic Camera, the leadoff base runner on the hit by pitch. Conlon Daniel up there. 11 RBIs for Daniel. Hitting 280. He's 1 for 3 tonight. swing and a miss. Daniel trying to adjust to that high heat. Knibbie, he comes set, looking for back-to-back punch-outs. A deep breath. Runner, camera's off, swing and a miss. The throw down from the catcher is not in time. A competitive throw for Thompson, but camera's in his second base. Strikeout, though, for Knibbie, back-to-back Ks.
Yep, there it is. Fastball, this time elevated above the zone. And that's what you can do when you get ahead in the count like that. Was able to raise the sights and force his chase onto the strikeout.
Now we'll face David Alvarez, the lefty, who's playing left field, inserted in for Joey Pagano. Last out here for Knibbie as he looks for the final three. You got Gates down with the strikeout, Daniel down to be the strikeout. The pitch, it's in there for a strike as he's now been able to strike out 8 hitters that he's seen against the Mountaineers, and he's only faced 10 total hitters. So 8 for 10 on strikeouts, trying to make it 9 for 11 is Knibbie against the Mountaineers. 0-1 pitch with 2 outs. Swing and a miss. He's 1 strike away from 3 straight Ks.
Yep. Mountaineers down to their final strike here. Both teams set to stand. That one's fired up. This is a big bounce back win if they can close this one out for the Swamp Bats after getting swept last time out.
Knibbie has struck out 8 of 10 hitters against the Mountaineers this season. Can he make it 9 for 11? Not yet, as Alvarez rips one into center field for a base hit. It's going to score Camera, who's rounding third. He touches home. David Alvarez, an RBI single off of Todd Knibbie, the first earned run of the season allowed by Knibbie.
So that time, he goes back to his bread and butter, that 95-mile-per-hour fastball, but caught way too much of the plate there. That one just on slightly on the outer half, about belt high, and just did a great job roping that one up the middle. 103 off the bat.
How about this? Jalen Hernandez, who got the night off, the NECBL hitter of the week, is going to come in now and face Todd Knibbie. So he's going to get in that bat. Best on best here. NECBL hitter of the week, Todd Knibbie, just allowed his first earned run, but of course he's been spectacular all season long. Heavyweight matchup. Got some action here in the ninth as Hernandez takes. Just interesting to see how this will play out, even of course knowing that the game is way out of reach.
Yeah, well, you never know.
Fair.
Everything's possible. We said that probably 14 times last game, and then anything was possible. We saw it.
Jalen Hernandez, NECBL hitter of the week versus Todd Knibbie. He's throwing 95 right now. He's working with fires. Hernandez skies this one back over our heads. Foul ball, 1-1.
And Knibbie's leadoff hit batsman. That's his first of the summer. He's yet to hit anyone. He's also yet to throw a wild pitch as well. His first hit batsman coming on his 7th appearance.
1-1 pitch on the way with 2 outs from Knibbie, and a runner at first. Here it is. Hernandez takes 2-1. He's ahead.
Yep, there's that slider. Just trying to backdoor him to get ahead in the count. That time doesn't get enough break on it, and it misses outside, and now he's behind 2-1.
Knibbie had worked through 6 2/3 innings of work scoreless this season before allowing that earned run off the RBI single from David Alvarez. In for a strike to Hernandez. Cameron does a great job. He steals second after being hit by the pitch. Then he's able to come home on a good read off the bat from David Alvarez. A really hard hit ball, but Cameron was off and running. 2-2 count. Knibbie trying to close this one down. Swing and a miss. He got him. After allowing his first earned run of the season, he strikes out Hernandez. He gets 3 Ks in the ninth. 94 on the fastball on the outside corner. And that will do it here from